Finishing up the book of Genesis tonight. Hopefully we can finish it up tonight. Hopefully more people start showing up before I press play. Actually, I can find the left off this one.
And Esau said, I have enough, my brother. And fled and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came unto me to lie. Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee, for he knew not. Children of Zibeon, both Ajah and Anah. That was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anah were these: Dishon, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died, and was buried in the way to Ephrath, which is Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave. That is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spread his tent beyond the tower of Eder. And it came to pass, when Israel dwelt in that land, that Reuben went and lay with Bilhah his father's concubine, and Israel heard of it. Now the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. The sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's
anybody who's
handmaid,
been tuning
Dan
in with
and
me for the past couple days, we actually listening to a different video. Yesterday's stream kind of got copyrighted, not because of the Bible, but it was somebody had put some music in the background, so that got copyrighted. So today we listening to the non-dramatized version of the Bible, and like I guess that's just how it's gonna be for the rest of this series. It's just gonna be the regular version. So hopefully that don't get me copyrighted at all. But I think I need to start just reading the mugs personally on my own. But that's too much strain on my eyes. So I got my appointment for my eye doctor tomorrow. So hopefully good news after that. And then I maybe just start reading the mug myself. Like, 'cause I'm tired of getting these copyrights. The small things. It was only like 3 minutes worth of copyright stuff that was in that video. So for those that's showing up, thank you for showing up. If you new to the chat, this is not your average Sunday service. Like, this is not what you're gonna expect, or it's not what you've been expecting. It's not what you're used to. If you're a church person, I'm not a pastor. I'm just a person with an opinion, interested in learning, studying. Not interested in religion per se, but I do love books. So this is one of the books that heavily influenced my life at a point in time, even if I was a young age. When I left church, that information stayed within me. So it was not, I never really left because it was always there. But yeah, we listening to Genesis. We're going to be finishing this up. And then it's going to be the book of Exodus. Or should we go listen? Should it be the book of Enoch? Not for sure yet, but of course Exodus comes right after Genesis, so I would want to do it in order. and then just add that a little later. So make sure y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. Really appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe. Make sure you comment. Like I said, this is not your average Sunday service, so beware. I'm just giving y'all that heads up. I do smoke weed, so once again, let me ask them, is that weed you're smoking while listening to the Bible? Yes. Helps me decode and interpret things a lot better.
Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob which were born to him in Padan Aram. And Jacob came unto Isaac his father unto Mamre, unto the city of Arba, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him.
Shout out to Omarion the Great,
Chapter
coming through once
36.
again. Really appreciate it.
Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Ada, the daughter of Elam the Hittite, and Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashemath, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajoth. And Ada bare to Esau Eliphaz, and Bashemath bare Reuel. And Aholibamah bare Jeush, and Jaalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives and his sons and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went into the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together. And the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them, because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Ada, the wife of Esau; Reuel, the son of Basemath, the wife of Esau. And the sons of Eliphaz were Teman, Omar, Zepho, and Gatam, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bare to Eliphaz Amalek. These were the sons of Ada, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Reuel: Naath and Zerah, Shammah and Mizah. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon, Esau's wife. And she bare to Esau Jeush, and Jaalam, and Korah. These were dukes of the sons of Esau. The sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau: Duke Teman, Duke Omar, Duke Zepho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, Duke Gatam, and Duke Amalek. These are the dukes that came of Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Ada. And these are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son: Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shammah, Duke Mizrah. These are the dukes that came of Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Basemath, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Aholibamah, Esau's wife: Duke Jeush, Duke Jaalam, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came of Aholibamah, the daughter of Anah, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir the Horite, who inhabited the land: Lotan and Shobal, and Zibeon and Anah, and Dishon and Ezer and Dishan. These are the dukes of the Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. And the children of Lotan were Hori and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Timnah. And the children of Shobal were these: Alvan, and Manahath, and Ebal, Shepho, and Onan. And these are the children of Zibeon: both Ajah and Anah. That was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness, as he fed the asses of Zibeon his father. And the children of Anah were these: Dishon, and Aholibamah the daughter of Anah. And these are the children of Dishon, Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ithran, and Kiran. The children of Ezer are these, Bilhan, and Zaavan, and Achan. The children of Dishan are these, Uz, and Aram. These are the dukes that came of the Horites, Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Zibeon, Duke Anah, Duke Dishon, Duke Ezer, Duke Dishan. These are the dukes that came of Hori among their dukes in the land of Seir. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before there reigned any king over the children of Israel. And Bela the son of Beor reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinhabah. And Bela died, and Jobab the son of Zerah of Bozrah reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham of the land of Timami reigned in his stead. And Husham died, and Hadad the son of Bedad, who smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead. And the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Samlah of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river reigned in his stead. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor reigned in his stead. And Baal-Hanan the son of Achbor died, and Hadar reigned in his
The Bible
stead.
could have skipped a lot
And
of
the name of the
this.
city was Peu, and his wife's
This is a
name
lot
was
of bunch of
Mehetabel, the
information that is
daughter of
not needed.
Matred, the daughter of Mezahab. And these are the names of the dukes that came of Esau, according to their families, after their places, by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Japheth, Duke
Make sure y'all hit that
Aholibamah,
like button if you
Duke
haven't already.
Elah, Duke Pinon, Duke Kenaz, Duke Teman, Duke Mibzar, Duke Magdiel, Duke Iram. These be the dukes of Edom, according to their habitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah, and with the sons of Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him, and could not speak peaceably unto him.
Why in the Genesis it's always brothers hating on one brother? Like, why is that like the thing? Why is it women look down upon, like can't no woman do nothing right? And so far in Genesis, every woman who's been named did some deceitful shit almost. From Eve to eating the fruit on the tree, Sarah giving Abraham a side chick to have a baby by, and then beating her because she got jealous when she had the baby. Then Lot's wife, she ended up looking back, getting destroyed, turned into a pillar of salt. Then Lot's wife, two daughters, got him drunk back to back and slept with him. So he had two kids by his own daughters. Then Rebecca told Jacob to do some foul shit to steal his brother's blessings. So what I learned so far in the Bible is women are. I'm not saying what I learned, but I'm what I've picked up so far, because I don't believe this. I mean, I ain't gonna say I don't believe it at all, but I don't think that that's the true way to be. I mean, as far as like if you saying this is a religion and everybody's supposed to follow it, are you supposed to be showing respect to women as well? Like so far the Bible doesn't do that, and then so far it says your brother is like your worst enemies, damn near. So I mean, hey, it be like that sometimes too, because I've met a lot of deceitful women in my life. Uh, had some, problems with my brother at a point in time. I'm not to say he hated me, he tried to kill me, but if he did, it didn't work. But still, me, I'm just decoding the Bible. Like I said, I'm listening to this as it's a story time book, as it's a fantasy book. I'm not taking it as literal as other people take it. I'm just like having my questions, having my thoughts that come in my mind, so I stop the book and speak on it. So, like I said, so far, brothers ain't shit, women ain't shit in the Bible. And God, He gonna test you to see if you loyal, no matter how old you are, no matter how long you been fucking it with God. Like He gonna always test you. And if you fail, He will curse you. So there is no real love in this Bible so far. I haven't mentioned not one time the word love. So off the back, religion is not based off love. But I guess that's why Jesus came through and like that was his message, like love and compassion, because God was not showing that at all. Alright, so
And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it to his brethren.
but think about it. In the beginning it said God made man and woman in his likeness and image, so the world is acting all like fucked up. Individuals is doing the wrong thing. So does that truly mean like humans are mirroring the true God? Is that how God really is? Because he made them in his image. And so far, it's only been a few people in the Bible who were like legit real ones. Fucking Abraham and Noah and Lot. Like, but Lot slept with his wife, but he was drunk. And Noah was a drunkard. So Abraham is like the realest person so far. Uh,
And they hated him yet the more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us? Or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. And he
Once
dreamed
again,
yet another.
you can't be telling people your dreams. Whether it's your dreams to like accomplish something in life, like shit, or just like what you want to be, what you want to do. You can't be telling people your goals and your dreams because nobody wants to hear it. Nobody wants to feel like you going to outdo them or your dreams is bigger than their dreams. Like so, when you tell small-minded people your dreams, they always trying to break it down. They always trying to end it, destroy it for you, ruin it for you. So they tried to ruin fucking his dream, but hey, I ain't gonna. I mean, we all read the Bible, so y'all know what happened in the story of Joseph. It gave one another.
Dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more, and behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him, and said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee to the earth? And his brethren envied him. But his father observed the saying. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here am I. And he said unto him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren, and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem.
But when you think about it, with Jacob, well, his name is Israel now. He had to beef with his own brother Esau, like just from stealing his blessings because of his mom. Like so, when Jacob ended up having kids, his kids hated Joseph. Like when it wasn't just one brother hating, when it was like 10, 11 brothers hating on one brother. Like so, hey, shit is real. Like family can't be trusted, women can't be trusted. So far.
And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren.
Hey,
Tell
it's
me,
4
I
people
pray
in here and
thee,
3 likes.
where they
Make
feed
sure you
their
hit that like
flocks.
button. Really appreciate
And the
it.
man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dothan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dothan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. Come now therefore, and let us slay him, and cast him into some pit, and we will say some evil beast hath devoured him. And we shall see what will become of his dreams. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, Let us not kill him. And Reuben said unto them, Shed no blood, but cast him into the pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to his father again. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him, and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty, there was no water in it. They sat down to eat bread, and they lifted up their eyes, and looked, and behold,
I
a
know you
company
didn't.
of...
I know you didn't, bro. And when people who actually know me and they see this, they can like, wait, Kenneth is listening to the Bible. But yeah, I've been decoding this mug. I ain't just been listening to it to get programmed by this shit. Like, just, I was just talking to my brothers, and this ain't the brother who I was talking about. Probably tried to kill me in my life, but this is my little brother Jinx. Hey, to anybody who new to the chat, shout out. Hey, and I got on your shirt. Let's go for sure. Definitely got some great stories. That's what another thing we listening to too. Like, and this the story we listen to now, Joseph and the Colorful Coat. One of my favorite stories. Like shit, Joseph went through bullshit just with family. Like so.
The Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt.
Somebody
And
was
the
like,
Judah said
somebody
unto
had
his
actually
brethren,
commented on my one of my lives, and they were like, "Hey, you need to get somebody else on there, like so it can have like two opinions and like so it could be like more podcast nature." And I'm like, "Yeah, you're right. And the perfect person would be Lil Bro." Hey, we went to yeah, Mimi was in the play. Our little sister Mimi was in the Joseph and the Colorful Coat play. That like we went to see that month every day for a week because they was playing it at West Side High School. Like so that's where I became probably why I drifted to that story more because they had the actors and shit. Like that shit was real tight back then.
What profit is if we slay our brother, and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. Then there passed by Midianites merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they brought Joseph into Egypt. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren, and said, The child is not, and I, whither shall I go? And they took Joseph's coat, and killed a kid of the goats, and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it to their father, and said, This have we found. Know now whether it be thy son's coat or no. And he knew it,
Motherfuckers.
and said, It is my son's coat. An evil beast hath devoured him. Joseph is without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted, and he said, For I will go down into the grave unto my son mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's, and captain of the 38.
You can't tell people your dream. Man, it was his own family that got him sold into slavery. They was willing to kill their own brother because they of their hate and jealousy. Like, damn, and he was the youngest one. Like, but that's how it be. Like I said, through this Bible so far, your family can't be trusted, women can't be trusted, and honestly, shit, God be forgetting about motherfuckers and shit. Like, God be testing people just to see if like you loyal. Like made Adam, I mean, it made Abraham about to kill his son, not himself, but tested the nigga to kill his son to see if he was faithful. And before then, he had already tested him, like say, hey, to show your loyalty to me, everybody you know, all your sons got to be circumcised. Like just shit like random shit that don't need to be done. Like God just trying to see who really loyal, who gonna be around him. But I guess because he knew how Jesus was gonna get betrayed, like so he seen that happening within the future. So, but also what I realized, like by just doing this series, God is the creator of heaven and earth and the stars. That's all it mentions. It don't mention Mars, Jupiter, like all the like all the shit you don't know about. It don't mention nothing about motherfucking extraterrestrials, and we know those are real. Like so, it don't mention anything about him being the god of. Oh shit, I can't even say it right now, but still, we know that he is not the only god. No, go, go. We know he's not the only guy because he gets jealous. Like he a jealous guy. He gets envious. He gets angry. Like stuff like if you the creator of all, like you shouldn't be mad. Like you shouldn't have no emotions. It should be no emotions. It should be like none of that shit. But the the character in this Bible, which they consider is God, like he like a regular ass dude. Like shit, he getting jealous and fucking like tempting motherfuckers to do wrong, just like the fucking snake tempting Eve. God be tempting motherfuckers too. Like, they the same fucking person, honestly. It's all. If he created this, all good is his, all bad is his. So he's the bad, the killing, the murder. That all comes from within him. He created that shit. If he created Adam and Eve, Eve they had a baby, and Cain killed his brother first. Like then that comes from the creator of God all like because this is your creation. Like so. If you wanted a perfect world, he should have created a perfect world. Like he should have. It shouldn't have been no serpent talking serpents that was motherfucking deceiving people. Like it shouldn't have been none of that. Like, but as we know, this is just a fucking story. But some people take it so literal, like they think it's the real thing. Like the Bible is based off 6,000 years ago. Egypt, like they was around 25,000 years ago. Like so, they got their own history. They got their own gods. Fucking Atlantis was around 50,000 years ago. Like so, people think Atlantis wasn't real because it was so long ago. They was not praising to no God of this Bible. Like so, me understanding that, I know, yeah, it's this God is real. This God may be real. Like he may be real, but he's not the creator of all. Like he the creator. It seem like black people. This the Hebrew Israelites God. That's what I take it as, cause he operating in Africa and shit. Like so he creating black people. Like no wonder they so fucked up. Honestly, like when you look at how black people is overall, these motherfuckers idiots. The problem is if you're all knowing God, what's the point of telling? Exactly, like exactly. I said that like earlier. I mean, in one of my other lives, like, what's the point of you testing any of like? What's the point? Like, what's the point of creating a hell when you already, if you're all knowing, you knew how it was gonna go as soon as you created this shit. But we also know that he said Adam and Eve wasn't the first people he created. He created men and females, but he didn't say nothing more about like what he did with them, where he placed them. Also, we know how God is jealous when all the men was working together building that Tower of Babel, trying to reach heaven. He came down and he seen it and he was like, "Oh no, these motherfuckers is getting too woke. They knowing too. They getting too conscious. They think they can reach it to my level by working together, and they could have, but he made everybody start speaking different languages, so now we don't understand. Like so, as you the way God be operating in this mug, it's like, dang, you kind of shiesty. I wouldn't even. If I had the choice of gods to like worship or be under, like this would be my last choice. Like just my honest opinion on how I just been seeing him so far on what he been doing. Like so, it ain't been talking about no love yet, like compassion. There is none of that shit. Literally, everything that's been going on in Genesis is fucked up. Like you could create. I don't know why there ain't nobody. I mean, man, that's what this world is based off of: murder, fucking sleeping around, raping and shit. Like that's what this world is based off of. The Bible, and that's why it's so fucking it's messed up. Hey, I can't do nothing but keep it real, honestly, because the world be keeping it too fake. They don't never say that what's on their mind. This be on everybody's mind when anybody who was a Christian and they really read the story and they knew it didn't make sense. They knew it was something fishy going on, but yet their parents are like, this is the right thing you're supposed to believe in. And their parents don't even know because their parents told them that shit. So me being a black person and understanding that shit, my ancestors came from slaves, like what the fuck I look like believing in what y'all believed in? Because obviously that shit didn't work for y'all. So I'm not about to sit here and act like it was working for me. Like so, but I still want to listen to it and read it because there is some shit in here you can learn from it. The stories are like powerful stories. Some of the stories I relate to. So knowing that, like I ain't gonna knock it too hard, but at the same time I am gonna speak my honest opinion about it. So.
Down from his brethren, and turned into a certain Adulamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua, and he took her and went in
Most High
unto
being
her.
jealous,
And
God
she
will keep us away
conceived
from
and
us.
bare a son, and he called his name
Exactly, like
And she
something ain't
conceived
right.
again, and bare a son,
What
and she called his name.
the only reason there's a need to be jealous of anything if you feel somebody got more than you do, like or like you want something they got. Like what's the point of you being jealous if you it's your creation? But I understand this too. Mom and dad they be having the kids and a lot of people in the hood, like they parents be jealous of the kids, especially when the kids is like doing things they not like got more opportunities than them. Like so, he's just like he said, creating them in my image. Like so, if God is creating humans in His image and they acting and thinking like Him, then why is all this fucked up shit happening? Because He's truly a egotistical psychopath genius. Like if that's the best way I can explain it, because like to create this, you gotta be some type of genius artist, because in genius, because this shit is genius how it goes. But the way Earth is set up, this is hell. Like you deal with pain, you deal with hurt, you sadness, depression, stress, all of this. The earth even deal with that shit. That's why you got volcanoes always erupting, you got earthquakes always happening. You got like all these natural disasters that's like this is not a place you want to live forever. It's like it's only bound to fucking blow up. Like so like if God created this, then like I ain't even trying to be here that long. Honestly, I'm just trying to live my life, evolve about here spiritually, learn what I need to learn, lead enough people the right way, wake their ass up so they don't have to keep continuing the cycle, and then I can just go on like shit. But a lot of people they gonna be repeating it, coming reincarnating a long time because they don't get it. They're not gonna ever learn that shit. I mean, I ain't gonna say they ain't gonna ever learn, but it's gonna take them a long time. It's gonna take them lifetimes. Like I got a family member that's still alive that's in her 70s. When she passed away, guess what? When she reincarnates, she gonna be doing the same thing she did in this lifetime. So she been working since she was a teenager, 16, working a 9 to 5, and she's still like doing that. I'm pretty. She never like really chased her dreams. Never really. I mean, she traveled. Like she lived a good life, so to say. But to see like she truly didn't chase her dreams in life and like never like you know like the person I'm talking to, Jinx know who I'm talking to. Like she didn't live her best life. She didn't live her purpose. She wasn't living in her purpose. Like so, when you don't live in your purpose, when you pass away, you gotta come back and repeat it until you figure that out. We lost our way from the truth and someone else stepped in. Break the cycle. Hey, definitely got to do my part because there's a lot of people that ain't doing their part, and there's a lot of people who doing the wrong part, but yet they making a big impact. So I'm just trying to make my impact on the world in a positive way, but people gonna deem it as fucking negative because it's going against what they believe in. If I'm talking about, hey, God is an egotistical, jealous psychopath, a person who never like, whose beliefs is Christian, they gonna like, this nigga is going to hell. Like, but I know hell ain't real. You already on hell. Like, this is hell. How you gonna say I'm going to hell? Yeah, we all in this bitch stuff. So people be thinking death is bad and it's worse and like, oh, I don't want to die, motherfucker. Yes, you do, because then you free of flesh. You don't have to worry about this bullshit. So I understand that because I'm a spiritual person. I did a lot of studying. I did a lot of meditating. I did a lot of experience in life to know like this is just one book, and it's a, I think like over 4,000 something religions. So I ain't about to sit here and go through all of them and read all those Bibles and what they believe in. But I'm gonna attack. I ain't gonna say attack, but I'm gonna check out the biggest. So me being a Christian growing up, like it was easier for me to just go back and listen to this one. Exactly, to live is to be born again. And we all, hey, every day I wake up is being born again. So make sure y'all give this video a thumbs up if you haven't already. You're listening to the Bible. Uh, we got less than an hour left on, well, a little bit over an hour on Genesis. So it's getting into the part where Joseph is being sold into Egypt and shit. So like I said, that was one of my favorite stories. But I it's I got a story on the real Joseph, like the real Joseph, and it ties into my past life. So y'all, when we get to that part, it's gonna probably blow your mind if you're not spiritual, if you fucking don't believe in past lives or nothing. But his name really wasn't Joseph. Like literally, his name really wasn't Joseph. But he was a good person. So once it get there, and then if I can remember to tell that story, which I probably will, but it's up to you to believe me or not.
And she yet again conceived and bare a son, and called his name Shelah. And he was at Kizim when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go in unto thy brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. And the thing which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, Lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died, and Judah was comforted, and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnath, he and his friend Hira the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar, saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnath to shear his sheep. And she put her widow's garments off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which is by the way to Timnath. For she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be an harlot, because she had covered her face. And he turned unto her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, Wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, What pledge shall I give thee? And she said, Thy signet, and thy bracelets, and thy staff that is in thine hand. And he gave it her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. And she arose, and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend the Adulamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, Where is the harlot that was openly by the wayside? And they said, There was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah, and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of the place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, Let her take it to her, lest we be shamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after, that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar thy daughter-in-law hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, Bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, By the man whose these are am I with child. And she said, Discern, I pray thee, whose are these, the signet and bracelets and staff? And Judah acknowledged them and said, She hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah my son. And he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in the time of her travail, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass when she travailed, that the one put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore his name was called Pharez. And afterward came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was called Zerah.
The names that's mentioned, let me pause this shit. The names that be mentioned all through these Bible, most of them names don't mean shit. It's like a history book. Not a history, but like one of those books that just names the people who lives in the house or whatever you want to call it. I forgot what they call it, but they do it every so often, like just even still to this day. A consensus or census, that's what it's called. I think it's called a census. That's what this Bible is. And it's based on basically one person's fucking opinion. Like whoever is telling Genesis, it wasn't no guy who came physically. I mean, and told them, hey, write this. But that's what I used to think as a child. Like God told this person to write everything, but now that I see, I'm like, nah, that wasn't the case. Cause it's just a regular ass book, and somebody just said this is what we should be following. They had a war, Christians won, and they said this is the prevalent thing everybody's gonna believe
in. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, an Egyptian, bought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And his master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he did to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found favor in his sight, and he served him. And he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass from the time that he made him overseer in his house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian's house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that he had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he did eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things that his master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me.
Another woman who ain't shit. This is only one book. Literally in Genesis, there's at least 5 women who did some fucked up shit. Like, damn.
But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wotteth not what is with me in the house. And
why do you think so many women follow the Bible? Like they really read it.
There is none greater in this house than I. Neither hath he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. How then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And it came to pass, as she spake to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie by her, or to be with her. And it came to pass about this time that Joseph went into the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand, and fled, and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand, and was fled forth, that she called unto the men of her house, and spake unto them, saying, See, he hath brought an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled, and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her, until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came in unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me, and fled out. That came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place for the king's...
Anybody that ain't here that's a Christian, like, let me know right now. Is there anybody in here that's a Christian? Because so far, I haven't learned anything to make me want to follow this book. Like, I ain't heard nothing. This is a fucking horror movie. This is a motherfucking drama. Goddamn suspense. This is a whole fuckery. Like, ain't nothing fucking positive going on in the Bible. Literally nothing positive. How is it that this guy is fucking doing the best he possibly can, and a bitch say sleep with me, and he don't want to do it? You should have been just left it at that. Why you gotta be all extra and say, oh, he raped me? You're like, bitch, what the fuck? Used to be. I used to be a Christian. Yeah, I used to be one too. Like, that was one my parents gave me no choice. But as I became an adult and I went to church a little bit more as an adult, and I'm like, this shit not starting to add up. Then I left. So now I'm back. I ain't no Christian, but I'm just going back and reading it for myself fully again. Like, cause there's plenty of times where I done still picked up the Bible on my spiritual journey, but I wasn't reading it back to back. I was just opening up a random page, and there would be a message for me. So it would be something that I was used to really learning still. Man, it's still going, like, that's all that's going on in this Bible. Like, rape, slave, enslavement, and murder. Like, that's what the basis of this world is. That's why people get paid off that during movies, music. Like, it's all surrounded with the same shit. So, I mean, I guess that's why positive minds only ain't as prevalent and blowing up, because it's something that the world is not used to. It's something the world really don't want. People don't want a positive story. Like, if you gave people a choice, which one would you rather listen to or watch? My fucked up life or my positive life? Like, it was two TV shows on TV, my fucked up life and my positive life. Which one you think most people gonna want to watch? I know what I'm gonna watch. I watch the fucked up one. Like, and that's just fucked up because we programmed that way. Like, it's supposed to be opposite, but yet that's what's going on in this Bible. It's nothing but fucking negativity so far. I ain't seen not one piece of positivity yet in the Bible, and I'm willing to debate anybody on that.
His prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. The keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper.
You know why people watch the fuckery? Because they were like, well, it ain't me. I'm glad it ain't me. But when they watching something positive, somebody going through something positive, their life is already fucked up to the point where, damn, I don't want to see this. Like, somebody living their best life, being all happy and shit. Like, they would rather see somebody who's in the worst predicament than they are. Like, so that's the majority of the world. I mean, I love positivity. Like, I love, like, I mean, I ain't about to be sitting here and watching no fucking goddamn happy-go-lucky movies 24/7. But I, that's why I created Positive Minds Only. Because for one thing, I'm gonna make sure my mind is positive. I'm not about to be thinking no negative thoughts. I'm not about to be living no negative lifestyle. It's all like, I'm just, and even when I go through negative shit in my life, I see the positivity behind it. Like that's the true meaning of Positive Minds Only. Like this is me. It ain't the world. I know with a lot of shit that I post don't be quote unquote positive. That's because this is a fucking hell. This what the fuck I'm gonna fucking do? Don't nobody want to see no positive shit. You know, positive shit.
Chapter 40. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, and against the chief of the
So it's
bakers.
coming up to like
And he
my
put them
Joseph
in
story.
ward in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continued a season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of his dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were
And
bound in
what's
the prison.
funny now, like, I don't know, I keep pausing it, but what's funny now, I am a dream interpretator. Like, now, I'm not saying I was Joseph. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying I was Joseph in my past life, but like the story that I have about Joseph from my past life when I was a pharaoh in Egypt, like, it's kind of spot on to like just how who he was and what he believed in. Like, the God he believed in was really real. Like, so I know not to like down talking like shit on somebody's beliefs or what they say is God in them in life because Joseph's name wasn't Joseph. Let's get this straight. People would think all these names that's in the Bible is what their names was back then. It's not. Like Joseph played a part as in like for me, I was made Pharaoh at 12 years old. So that means I had to marry somebody. First of all, my mother was not the royal queen of Egypt. Like, so that means my dad, the Pharaoh before me, he had multiple wives. His first wife never gave him a son, or I think she did, but the son died. I was the second son, so I was able to become Pharaoh once my dad died when I was 12. Like, so I needed a wife. My the wife I married, she was around my same age. Her name was Queen, or she wasn't a queen at first, but her name was Tiye. I say Queen T, but the world will say Queen Ty. Her dad was Joseph, like, but his name wasn't Joseph. So their beliefs wasn't of Egyptian beliefs. I wasn't never supposed to marry her, but I married her out of love. Like, so that was a big deal. And once I really became up into my age, I was letting her run 50% of the kingdom. Like she had the same amount of power I had because I wanted to go out and create. Like I was into like building statues, like just building up art. Like I love building shit. Like even today, I mean not today, but when I was a kid, like man, I would love building shit. I want to be an architect in elementary because that was something I did in my past life. So when I died, my son became king. His name was Amenhotep the Fourth. But here's the thing: I always believed there's multiple gods. I never believed and said there was just one God. She did. My wife did. She wasn't able to convert me, so when I did, like she was, when my son became the next pharaoh, her beliefs was implanted on him. So they ended up running them out of Egypt because he was just trying to. His beliefs was there's one God, like literally there's only one God. Me, I never went with that. Yeah, I gave her power, but she was never able to convince the majority of the world you're a true Mason architect. Oh, yes, like never considered myself as such, but people be calling me stuff. What I be talking on lives, things that like I've never said or heard. Like, but once again, Joseph was a real deal. Like he was the real deal. Like that. I mean, and God is the whatever he believed in. Like it was the real deal at the time. But what I believed in was the real deal too. Like I believe there's multiple gods. I still believe that. Like so. But the way his God was operating was like you seen him operating. Like now, how my beliefs is in like I don't believe in what Christians or any other body believe in. I believe in myself. How I operate and move, and people see me and they're like, you know, like something in this God like is with him. So like they follow me now. Like they be like, oh, I want to believe in what he believes in. But it's truly I believe in myself. I can't say there's something outside of me guiding me for the simple fact nothing has from the, I've never seen that. I've never got that true experience. I know there's a creator. Like literally, it got to be something that created these mountains, these animals. Like it got to be something that created this. Yes, I know that. But for me to say he got a book and it's called the Bible and this like I would not disrespect that source, that energy, that intelligence, and say like he had anything to do with mankind got going on. So, but the God that Joseph had was fucking operating. But my son got cast out. Him and my wife, well, she passed away before he got casted out. But still, he ended up getting casted out of Egypt, and he tried to build his own, and they tried to erase his name out of the history books, like on some shit. And you know what's crazy? My son has the same story as Moses. Like you see how Moses tried to come back and free his people, and like saying my God is the ultimate God. Like it was some egotistical shit like that back then. It was the battle of the beliefs and so. But me, I always knew that there's multiple gods. My wife, her dad, who had the father of Abraham, God, Abraham the God, like shit, he had some time. He had some type of vendetta against other guys, or he just wanted more followers. Like he just trying. This is what it is. Like this is what I realized. He's just recruiting people to believe in him. So, as many, I mean, miracles he does for Joseph, or any other Moses, anybody else who's doing these fucking, because that's what he was really doing. He was showing off his gifts so he can gain other people to believe in him. Like so, he fucked with Egypt because he knew the gods of Egypt was lazy. Like them guys, the gods of Egypt are lazy. If you don't truly fucking know and use that information and that knowledge, you will not get nothing in return. Like so, the god of fucking the nation of Islam. I ain't gonna say the nation of Islam. I don't know why that just popped up in my head. But the God of this Bible, he's like I said, more of a man. Like he more got ego problems. Like, and that's why he got trust issues. He always testing people to see testing their loyalty. Like so, he put people through shit on purpose just to see if they gonna fold. And if they fold, he like I don't need you. I'm gonna cut you off. Like literally, when Eve fucked up one time, oh, you can't stay in my garden no more. Like, nah, I'ma still watch out for you because I created you, but yeah, look how their life turned out. Like, so, yeah, they remembered, but at the same time, do you want to be remembered for some fucked up shit like that? Check out the sealed portion audiobook. I'm gonna definitely check that out. What's that about though? Like, sounds interesting enough.
Prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officers that were with him in the ward of his lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We
That's why I was so successful as a pharaoh. Now that I think about it, because I had Joseph, who was my wife's dad, like basically like helping Egypt flourish, literally, like, and he was the one who was causing the famine. That's God was causing a lot of famine, like drying up season. Like he was in charge of that. Like so, he was making people suffer so they would believe in him, so they would call on him, so they would pray to him. Like he wanted people to believe there was something on the outside of you, not on the inside of you, that's guiding you. Like so, I mean, he got his people. Like so, he did it his way. Who am I to judge the creator, what he created, and like how he moved and operated? Like
have dreamed a dream,
When
and
you
there is
create
no
the video
interpreter
game,
of
you could
it.
do whatever the
And
fuck you want.
Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I pray you. And the chief butler told his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. The 3 branches are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thine head and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup into his hand after the former manner when thou
And you
wast
know what's
his
funny?
butler. But
You
think
know
on
what's
me
fucking
when
funny?
it shall be.
I am a fucking dreamer. Like, I'm a literally fucking dreamer. I go to sleep just to dream. Like, I take naps just so I can have a dream. I'm daydreaming 24/7. Like, that's why I kept him around. Like, in my past life. And if you're new to this chat, Joseph, I met him in the past life. We had crossings in the past life. I was an Egyptian, he was a Hebrew. He was interpreter of dreams. I had many dreams. Like, so he was able to guide me through my dreams. Now I know how to interpret my own dreams. I don't need somebody to interpret. I was very codependent on him. That's why I'm like shit. I fell in love with his daughter. And then but look what they did after I died. They tried to turn Egypt to it's only one God instead of multiple gods. And it backfired. So hey, everything happened for him. But it backfired, and then look how Egypt turned out, though. Like, God really did a number on Egypt. Because Egypt is still beautiful. The pyramids is still there. But how it was thousands of years ago, it ain't got nothing on, like, it today. Like, so, Egypt finally fell, but everything falls. Everything would never stay as great as it was. Like I said, Egyptians was here around 25,000 years ago. This God has appeared 6,000 years ago. So, of course, they're not going to just believe what my son is saying, hey, it's only one God, when they've been here for like thousands of years before this guy showed up. This guy was just hungry. Like, he was showing he had something to prove, and look what he did. Now he got millions of people believing in him. Like, so he accomplished his goal. Like, so that's just something I can learn and take from the guy who created this. This is like, shit, whatever you do, like, have a goal, accomplish it, and if shit not working for you, cut it out your life. Shit, many times people fucked up one time, and he like, up, gotta go. Can't trust this motherfucker. You only get one time to disappoint God, and he like, there is no second chances. That's why when you die, you go to hell in his belief. Like, you get no second. It's not. That's fear-based mentality. Like, that got a lot of people scared, especially when you got millions of people believing in the thing. Like, shit, they probably mentally created a motherfucking lake of fire by now with just how they really believed it to be true. But me, with my beliefs, like, there is no lake of fire. There is no heaven where it's gold-plated fences and gold floors and gold mansions and milk and honey and gospel 24/7. If that's fucking heaven, I'm good. Because first of all, I'm lactose intolerant. And second, I don't want to be hearing gospel 24/7. Like, so, that's just me. I want to go somewhere where the fuck is just wherever, whatever my mind can imagine and visualize for itself, whatever heaven I can create for myself, that's where I'm trying to go. I'm not trying to go to nobody else's created shit. I want to create my own game, and like, fucking then I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like,
Be well with
that's
thee,
just my
and show
beliefs though. Like,
kindness, I
most
pray
people's
thee,
beliefs
unto
is
me,
like when
and
they
make
die, it's
mention
heaven or
of
hell.
me unto
That's it.
Pharaoh, and bring me out of this house, for indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there was all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation
Nigga,
thereof.
your
The
head about to
3
get chopped off.
baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of
I
the
wasn't
chief
that
butler
Pharaoh that was
and
chopping
the
niggas'
chief
heads off.
baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto his butlership
Must have been my
again,
dad.
and he gave the cup into Pharaoh's hand. But he hanged the chief baker, as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgat him.
That's fucked up.
Chapter
Like,
41.
how you gonna
And
forget
it
about
came
the
to
nigga
pass
who
at
like
the
literally told you exactly how your life was gonna turn out, and it did, and you forgot about him. But for God forgot about Noah in the middle of it, like when he flooded the whole earth. He's in the Bible said, and God remembered Noah, like after 140 some days of being just stuck in that bitch. Like, god damn, what was God doing? Yeah, see, it's other shit that's in this world that we have no clue. People's not even questioning why. How is a God forgetful? This God is very forgetful. Like so,
end of 2
he a
full
human.
years that
It's a black
Pharaoh
guy writing this
dreamed.
book.
And
Like for real,
behold, he
literally,
stood
it's a
by the
nigga.
river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine, and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke, and he slept and dreamed the 2nd time, and behold, 7 ears of corn came upon one stalk, rank and good. And behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. And the 7 thin ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears, and Pharaoh awoke, and
See,
behold,
I
it was a
realized
dream.
something.
And it came to
The God of this Bible operates through dreams. Like he be appearing and giving people dreams, and he get put Joseph in a position to like interpret those dreams. So God always had a plan about taking fucking Joseph through Egypt so he could conquer Egypt. Like so, very strategic. Gotta give it to him. Like, very strategic.
pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. And he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all the wise men thereof, and Pharaoh told them his dream. But there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house,
Oh yeah,
both me
I'll
and the
definitely
chief
check that out.
baker, and we dreamed a
But
dream in
that's
one
like
night,
basically what
I
I
and
believe.
he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was there with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard. And we told him, and
Hey,
he interpreted to us
44 B
our
Dog, what's
dreams,
up?
to
My
each
bad, I
man
didn't even have
according
it
to
on my
his
screen. I
dream
wasn't
he
even
did
with it.
interpret. And it
Mr.
came to
Everest,
pass, as he
shout out to you for
interpreted
popping
to
up
us,
one more
so it
time.
was. Me he restored unto mine office,
No,
and
you ain't
him
even
he
gotta say no
hanged.
more.
Then Pharaoh sent and
Like,
called
I already
Joseph,
got it.
and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon. And he shaved
If
himself and
if
changed.
you ever read the Convoluted Universe, like that, and that is like the Bible to me. Like, and anything like I'm gonna go toward as far as like my beliefs is based off. Like, it's the Convoluted Universe. I want to do that book, but I don't know if it's gonna get me copyrighted. Like so, if you got damn, uh, I ain't about to put promote nobody's shit yet until they start paying. But I got Audible, and I get books every month, 2 books every month for free. But it's not free. I pay $22 a month, but 2 books every month, and every month I get a new like books, and I read them or listen to them. So I done got the Convoluted Universe 1, 2, Then I got a book called The Custodians that's just it's written by the same person. Her name is Dolores Cannon. If y'all search her on YouTube, she talks a lot about star seed children, indigo children, like letting you know like you reincarnate a lot. Like it's when I first started hearing her talk, everything she said, even though it was new, I never heard nobody say it. It felt like, yes, this is right. Like I know this is right. It was like, damn, this is what I've been looking for my whole life. Because I was a kid, literally growing up, I would be looking at the stars at nighttime and knowing like, damn, where I'm at don't feel like home. That the stars more feel like home to me. Every time I go outside, I can't help but just to get like start staring at the stars. Like that's home for me. Like this ain't my home. Like so when I came across Dolores Cannon, she was talking a lot about how a lot about the universe and like how it is spiritually, not with the physical eye. Like so she tapped into the subconscious mind. Like people don't realize we all have the ability to remember our past lives. You just have to know how to be able to tap into that. So me, I did it through meditation. Like I learned how to. It's Dolores. And Canon Can. Wait, Dolores. Did I say Canon? I think it's Dolores Cannon. Yeah, Cannon, like shooting a cannon, Cannon, but Dolores. Like so, she older white woman, but like if you mention the sealed portion, like you gonna be like, yep, hey, tap into her like, hey, you could we gonna since we gonna be here for a minute, like y'all can actually go check her out and see what she's saying, like, cause she don't have that many. I mean, she got a bunch of videos, but it's kind of long, and there's some of them ain't that long, so you can check a short one out and like see what I'm talking about. But her series, The Convoluted Universe, like, it's for those who like are like no Earth ain't they home. Like no, there's more to this. Like that said, that book ain't for the average thinking person. It's not for a person who think inside of a box who's closed minded. So you gotta be able to you gotta have an imagination and you gotta know like shit. There's more to it than what they say it is. You gonna find out some shit.
Changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And I have heard say of thee, that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an
See?
answer
Oh, he
of
was just saying
peace.
this God. It ain't
And
me.
Pharaoh
It's
said
God.
unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the
They ain't
river,
had no
and
gods
behold,
of
there
dreams
came up
and
out of the river 7.
literally, he's the god of dreams. This is who we're dealing with because he always popping up through people's dreams, doing things in the nighttime. Like, well, in Adam and Eve, he popped up in person, but overall, like, he operates throughout people's dreams. Like, so he's the interpreter of dreams. He's the god of dreams. Like, oh, snaps. Just got that epiphany. And since I love dreams, I should love this God, right? Cause but how he been operating the movement. Honestly, I'm gonna keep it 1,000. Once I woke up and got to where I am now in life, I feel more of that peaceful. Like just like it don't even matter if this dude like killed thousands of people. It don't even matter if he's a low key psychopath, serial killer. Like he still got some good in him, and that shows like that's everybody. Everybody has that little evil version in them that they don't show the world. They man, there's plenty of times with me being in the military, I'm like, man, I could just easily snipe somebody. And nobody never know. Like, but I don't let that version of me out, like, cause I understand, like, you can't do that. Like, this is you don't want. It's places on this earth you don't want to be. Like, so God is just he got the power to do that, and he don't give a fuck. But you also see like he gave his son like had him sacrifice, knowing this world would never change. These are the same people. We're doing the same fucking shit thousands of years like later. Still fucking murder, rape, kill, kill, kill. Like that's still prevalent to this day to the fullest. And yet nobody is saved. Like God don't give a fuck about this place, honestly. He know it's a lost cause. That's why he let the devil take over this bitch. Why not? True evil, look at our love. Exactly. Like, and then actually, the wicked can't really be considered the wicked if you truly know their original story. Like, cause nobody just turns out being that way. And if they was born that way, like, you can't judge a person that was born to like kill as their mental, and you can't judge a person who was programmed by watching, or not just watching, but getting beat, getting like scolded, getting like terrible shit happening to them their whole life. And then you're mad when they go on a killing spree, when they start become a serial killer. Look at how they was. Like, I had to be that way too. Like, if I never got the help I needed in life. Like, so make sure y'all get this video a thumbs up too. But like, you have to understand, like, everything on this earth is like, is, I ain't gonna say it's bad, but it's damn near like, parents is evil, siblings is evil, cousins is evil, aunties and uncles, everybody is evil, everybody is good as well. But like, overall, like, motherfuckers is bad. God showed don't trust not a goddamn soul. And if you don't, people you can trust is the people who keep passing those tests you keep putting to see if they can fail. Like, so I need to always be testing the motherfucking they loyalty in this, like, cause that's what I got from him. Father, forgive them for they do not know what they do. Hey, Jesus, that's why I fuck with Jesus. That's why I can't really wait to get to the Jesus part, because if he came down here, and like I said, Jesus is somebody who looked like my brother, my little brother. You seen, go to his YouTube, Jinx the Rebel. She's black like me. He looks like me, but he's dreaded, gray hair. Like, that's how Jesus would look like. So Jesus, if Jesus really came down on this earth and operated like that, full his capability, because he was instant manifest and stuff. Like, that's, he knew who he was. He was never tempted by nothing. Like, but Jesus did have outbursts. Jesus wasn't too perfect, because he went into that church and started flipping shit over. If Jesus was supposed to be perfect, as they say he was, he would have been calm and said, "This is not supposed to be going on in my father's house." But that wasn't the case. Jesus is exactly straight gangster. Like, so that lets me know I can be how I am. Like, literally, I can be how I am. Like, so I can't wait to get, but we got to get through all these other fucking books too. Like, and I'm gonna be dedicated to fucking doing this shit every day, because at the same time I'm learning, I'm growing. Every time you read, no matter what book you read, first of all, don't let it program you. You read it for its information. What is good for you, you take that with you. What is bad, what you feel like don't resonate with you, don't let it consume your subconscious and you be acting like that. What you read, like me, I understand like how this shit works. Whether it's from watching TV, listening to music, all of that shit is meant to program you to think a certain way. Like, that's why I read a lot of books like Think and Grow Rich, the Celestine Prophecy, because these books have me thinking in the way I want to think. So I don't think the Bible got me thinking in the way I want to think. So I want to keep it that way, like, not being too consumed with listening to the Bible. Right? So, cause I want to check out some other ones too, like especially the Quran. So I never read that one. So I read a couple excerpts, but I never like picked up the book. So, and I listened to a few of, I almost said Nelson Mandela. What the fuck? What's his name? Damn, what's his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. The Nation of Islam leader. Can't believe I forgot his name. But I've watched a few of his videos, and like, he a person who can speak well. Like, I I got respect for him. Like, even though I don't believe, I don't have their beliefs. Uh, he on point with what he be speaking about. So this
Unkind,
baby
fat
pop up and
flesh
for
were well
somebody say it.
favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kind came up after them, poor and very ill-favored, and lean-fleshed, such as I never
Farrakhan.
saw in all the land of Egypt for
Farrakhan.
balance.
Alright.
And the lean and the
Malcolm X.
ill-favored kind did
Man,
eat up the...
Malcolm X, yes, he been on, but Malcolm X ain't alive today, like so. And I wasn't able to watch Malcolm X. We could check out his book. If that don't get me copyrighted, we could listen to the Malcolm X book. Like, yeah, actually, he wasn't too way off because they was like, I mean, yeah, kind of you was, yeah, he was way off with that one. But it was the same time you said Malcolm X, Farrakhan popped up in my head. So, Louis Farrakhan. I don't believe in what they believe in, but when I've seen his discussions and his conversations, and I was able to learn something. Like, so I know if I was to get around him, even though like I know you can't convert me to nothing, like, I know I would want to just stick around him just to soak up his information. Like so, and I'm able to do that without being a follower. Some people, when they see somebody with some information or something, they're like, "Oh, let me follow him. He know where he going." Fuck that shit. I mean, I follow Nipsey, but Nipsey passed away, so it's not like I can continue to follow him. I have to go my own way. But if that was somebody who I was gonna follow, if he was still alive, I'd have been doing exactly what Nipsey was doing. Now, like he just left his blueprint, and I could just use that to like fit what I got going on in my life. Like so, yeah, I can say honestly say if Nipsey was still alive, I'd be like following, see what he doing. Like even with my mindset, because I was already like woke when I started really listening to him. Like, but I realized he was way ahead of me, like way. I'm like, man, I can just tap into like the level of what he's mastered as far as like business and financial, because that's the real part. It's not the spiritual part. I already got that down packed, but business, marketing, brand wise, if I can get that part down, man, it'll be a wrap. Cause I'm already mentally ahead. Like shit, I'm already tapped in. Like it'd be spirits that be just coming to me because they know who I am just off the top of what, how many times I done reincarnated and what I've done over in my lifetime, like in over different lifetimes. Just imagine me. Just imagine me being in the fucking 1920s, me being in the 1800s, just still me, with my level of thinking, like conscious level, because I never was the one to get caught up in no shit. Like, just imagine like what I would have been, who I would have been. I would have been somebody who's well known, because it ain't the world don't think like this. Like, I would have stood out. They probably would have killed me multiple times in my life. I mean, they did. I've been murdered a few times. I ain't even gonna lie. You weird how the last video seemed like a goodbye Nipsey. Is you talking about the DJ Khaled hire video, or is you talking about interview? That video, it took me a minute to watch that. I don't even. That song just didn't even sound like I didn't even want to listen to it. Like just not because of Nipsey, I wanted to listen to his part, of course, but the song, I didn't want to hear the song. I didn't want to hear John Legend. I didn't want to hear DJ Khaled. I didn't want to hear the beat. I just wanted to hear Nipsey part. Like, and it took a while for me to even do that. Like so, but overall, it's a dope song. Or was we talking about which one came out last? Was it him and Roddy Rich? Oh, you talking about Higher? Yeah, so yeah, that was a goodbye video. He knew he knew he knew. All spiritual people know when they gonna die, or they know right before they about to die. Like they'll probably know a week to a month. They know. I know when around the time I'm gonna pass away, like, cause I'm tapped in on that level. Like most people don't know. Like me, that's why I said I know I'm gonna be here for a while. And if I do, a motherfucker do take me out, like assassinate me before my time, man, I'm gonna fuck this world up for a minute. Like y'all gonna see, like, oh yeah, we know Kenneth's spirit and like causing earthquakes and tornadoes. I'm gonna be fucking shit up because that's how powerful I am. Like people don't realize you got power. Not just me, like everybody in this motherfucker got some sort of power. How I'm doing gonna die. It may not be of how you gonna die. It could be how you died in the past life. Like for real, you could have died like that in your past life. So, and I'm 100% sure it's your past life. I don't think you like true. Like it's your past life. You wouldn't have had a dream of your how you would die. I mean, you can have that dream, but you wouldn't have had it this early. But because for the simple fact you'd be thinking about it a lot, and then you would truly manifest that even if it wasn't for you. Like because of just your thoughts and thinking. So thinking it's a past life that it's already happened. It can't happen no more. Like it ain't gonna happen that way. Like so. Here's some bullshit. Fucking bullshit. Good job, Brian. I ain't, hey, Brian was on that shit. Good job. Oh, it's another one. We need to block this motherfucker. Hey, but this is what the Bible attracts. This is what the Bible attracts. It attracts those fucking sinners. You know, like I ain't tempted by shit. That's I've overcame. Like now, I ain't gonna say I'm on Jesus level, but like just like conscious, I'm close to like his level where damn near nothing can tempt me. Like I already been to the heights. I done been to the lows. I didn't came across like man, y'all don't if y'all just knew my story and like just what I faced in my life, like can't nothing tempt me out my position and like where I'm going. Like now, well, watch. I'm gonna be tested. Watch. The universe is gonna test me for saying this, but I'm always ready for my. I ain't gonna say I'm always ready for my test. Most of the time, I say something, I mean it, so now so I'm ready for that test. So yeah, something is gonna probably try to tempt me to like stop me from doing what I'm doing, but fuck that shit. Every time you get tested and you pass the test, you get to go to the next level. So I say a lot of shit knowing I'm gonna be tested and knowing like if you once you're ready for a test, you've been studying like your whole life, not your whole life, but studying for years, and you get tested, you already know what's on the test. Tested, not tempted. It's right. Like I'm never like tempted to do shit. I'm always tested. That's bruh, in 2018, I realized that's what it was. It wasn't I had a temptation problem. I was just being tested and see if I was gonna keep failing that test, like failing the lust test. And once I realized it was a test, I'm like, oh, I know the answers. Don't do that. So once I stopped doing what I was doing, I'm like, oh shit, this is the answers to life. Everything I was doing wrong, do the right thing now. Like so, okay, fuck it. Let me just keep going up, keep going forward. And look where it led me back to reading the Bible, listening to the Bible.
The first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them. But they were still ill-favored as at the beginning. So I awoke. And I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good. And behold, 7 ears withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind sprung up after them. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears, and I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, The dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath showed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he showeth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there
Hey
come
y'all, I'm gonna
7
start
years
me
of
a
great
church.
plenty throughout all
I'm gonna
the
start
land of
me a
Egypt.
church, right? And I'm gonna be the smoking preacher. And I'm gonna smoke in my church and I'm gonna just read the Bible and tell the truth like it really is. Like for real, I ain't gonna be like these other pastors and lie just to get check, or not a check, get the cash on a Sunday. That's why they do it. That's why most preachers, black preachers, is preachers, and not just black, but most preachers is preachers because that money is not taxed. They get it cash every Sunday. Once they pay the bills, that money is like going in their bank account. Like so, it's a hustle. Once a week, twice a week, preach this Bible, the same scriptures, tell people to do right, tell people to pay their tithes and offering. Like, I could do that, but I'm gonna do it right. I see why Kanye went back and created his own Sunday service, literally, because he knew that if this book was read the right way, if it was interpreted the right way, there it could be done and right. Like you could lead a lot of right. I mean, people in the right way. Oh, they be having things on the look. Exactly. Like, because they all do it for money, sex, and power. Like, literally, that's all they do it for. It's not, because anybody who's in position know there is no God talking to you, leading you. There is nothing on the outside of you leading you. Like, hey, shout out to Eric. Whoa, now we back in this month. Like there is nothing been leading me my whole life on the outside, telling me to do nothing. It's been me on the inside, and there's been some spirits on guiding me, and there's been some motherfucking myself. Like, and there's been some motherfuckers trying to program me to think a certain way. Like it ain't have nothing to do with something on the outside of me leading me to heaven or something below me, the devil leading me to hell. So once I got out of those beliefs, Mace figured it. He did. He figured it out a long time ago. Literally, I don't have to rap and be broke no more and be under Diddy, and I could just go into the church and get paid. I'm famous. People gonna come to my church every Sunday. That's what. That's like him touring, bruh. Mace figured it out in the early 2000s, and people was calling him crazy, looking at him crazy. Mace had it figured out. It ain't no fucking outside figure judging you saying, "Oh, you going to hell for not leading the people out." Right? Nah, you just gonna come back in this bitch and do it over. But they don't even have that type of awareness, so they don't know they gonna reincarnate. Like, but the people who know, like they know they gonna reincarnate, so they don't have no issue with reading this Bible and telling people, "Yeah, do this, follow this." Like they don't understand like what they doing is wrong. Like me, I understand you gotta guide people up out of here. You're not supposed to return to Earth. Like you're not, because this is hell. This is how you live in hell eternity, for eternity. You keep coming back to this bitch, even after you done lived 90 years starting back over as a baby and doing it again, and then probably dying the next time, getting shot, then come back and starting back over again. Like that's hell, ain't it? Like literally, that's hell. Fucking repeating this life over and over until you get that shit right. Like so, me, I know the tests, I know the answers, so I'm always willing to be tested because it's like I got the, like I've been doing this for quite some time. Like so. Need to check him out. It's been a while. I never checked out what his church said. I mean, I never checked it out. I was a kid when it happened, so I'm like, I laughed at him too. Like, I thought it was cool to talk about Mace because I didn't understand it. Like, so what the world said do, I was one of them influenced people in the world. Like, 99% of the world was influenced by TV, media. Like, that's why the rich don't be letting their kids watch TV, get on internet. Like they don't want them programmed. Like so, me understanding that, like I take my kids' phone quick. I don't let them watch a lot of stuff on TV. They get to, dang show can't be on the internet just doing whatever they want. Like so, you gotta train your children like to know this world is cutthroat. This is not no game. This is not no fairy tale. That's what we grew up at thinking. This world is a fucking fairy tale. And once you not even turned 18, shit, I turned 17 and realized, hey, shit, before 17. I seen my first murder at 16. Like, so I automatically And then before then, it was always bad shit happening in my life. Like, so I'm like, I knew this world was a fucked up place. Like, I didn't grow up with no fucking. I learned something now. Life is. It is. That's all it is. And people keep failing. They in kindergarten, still failing these minor tests, these little tests, not getting over the simplest shit because they don't know it's a test. They don't know once you pass this test, you're gonna get tested by something else. And once you pass that, you keep going to the next level until you die and you don't have to play this game no more. Like literally, once you graduate in death, you didn't flunk, you get to go on. Me, the only reason I keep coming back is to tell people this. Last time I didn't tell that. Like I didn't tell people that. I didn't give people the game, the information. I wanted to keep it for myself. So shout out to Spiritual Socrates back again. I know we supposed to be listening to the Bible more, but like it's hey, I can't help to talk. Like, it's in me to just tell it now. I can't just keep it to myself like I used to. Now I feel like I got lifetimes of information to give, and I don't got that much time. I mean, I got a lot of time, but I want to make sure like I'm doing everything I need to now. Like so when it's I can truly retire. Like I ain't ever gotta make another video. I ain't. I mean, I truly ain't gotta do this now. Honestly, I didn't did my podcast. I didn't did over 90 episodes of that. Like so, I could have been like, yeah, I'm done giving up like game and just do what everybody else doing to get money to get paid. But I'm like, nah, I'm gonna stick to what I got going on, no matter what, because I know it's gonna pay off way more. Like, and like, not to say it's occupying my time, but what I'm doing is like is building good habits. Reading a book every single day, like that's building a good habit, especially for me trying to be a billionaire in the future. Like so, everything I'm doing is to make sure my life is set up in the future to like 10 years from now, 5 years from now, I'm in a way better position than I am now. Most people don't even live and care about their future. They don't even care about their kids' future. Like once they kids turn 18, they're like, "Up, it's on you." Like so, whatever you do, like whether pass or fail in life, that ain't on me. That's on you. Like so, that's how black people is. As good as you're talking or giving opinions makes me realize others have this. Exactly. I know I'm not the only person that have these thoughts, and once I knew that, it was like it was a wrap. Like, and I just realized most people is just not comfortable enough with saying it. Like, but they don't want to be looked at it in a certain fashion or light. But me, I don't care. I don't care if you a person click on this and they think they're listening to the Bible and I'm a Christian. I'm like, I don't care. Like, they're gonna get a rude awakening. Like me, I'm a realist. I'm gonna say the truth, speak the truth. Ain't that what we supposed to do? Ain't that what Jesus did? Like so, technically, I could consider myself as Christian again, but I'm gonna be my own Christian. I'm gonna be what Jesus supposed, like what Jesus said you supposed to be like. Jesus said you're supposed to be able to instant manifest stuff. You're supposed to pass these tests like it's nothing. Like Jesus was able to go 40 days and 40 nights, like meditating, praying, like, and when his 12 disciples he came back, they was asleep. Like he was the only one who was tapped in. Like so, I'm trying to be tapped in on that level. I'm not trying to be following nothing on the outside of me. Yes, I know there is my father. Or I'm not even gonna say. Yeah, we got spiritual parents. I know I got spiritual parents, but they not here now. So the goal is to do my job while I'm here. Do my fucking job, and it's not working for nobody else. That's not my job. I did that before, just chasing a check. And guess what? I got the check, but it wasn't. Once I realized they not paying me my worth, and they never will. Your boss would never pay you to live next door to him. Like once I learned that, like Jesus was showing us how to. Exactly. Jesus was showing he reincarnated himself 3 days later. Literally, he came back, but he wasn't in flesh. Like that was just showing you, like, hey, we come back. Like motherfucker, Jesus wasn't the only one who was like that. Like there's plenty of other gods that came. Nipsey was a god. Like, bro, if you don't believe that, then you probably just heard he was a gangbanger and you follow what the media say. Like, but if you truly you tapped into Nipsey, you know that man was a god. There's no way what he accomplished, man. So me knowing that, like, I'm I'm on my path to like becoming my best self. Like that's all I'm gonna say. That's interesting. That's why I'm here, like to help you think in a different form of fashion, like to give you a different perspective. That's why I'm here. Different perspective.
And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice, it is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly
So
bring
is
it to pass.
so is God the
Now
one who's
therefore let
doing it? Like literally, God want people to believe in Him, know His power, because yes, there are other gods, but they not doing what He doing. Like He's operating on a level like they not. It's like He's a younger God. It's like how Zeus, like anybody who's into mythology, Zeus' parent was a titan, so they were above gods. When Zeus was born, he was supposed to get eaten because his dad knew, like his dad name is Cronus. Cronus knew one of his they had a prophecy that his kid would take over one day. So every kid Cronus had, which was a god, he ate. Once Zeus was born, his mom took him and hid him and gave Cronus a rock. So once Zeus got older, him and his siblings, like they destroyed Cronus and they became the gods. So I know there's levels to like spirituality, to gods, to all of that. Gods is just one level. There's something above that. Then there's something above that, and then there's the all. Like literally the all. There is no right, there is no wrong, good, bad, like positive. That it is just all. That's it. Like and that I'm trying to kind of get to that level to where I'm not the all, but connected with the all. Like literally, man, that's what I'm trying to be. Like connected with the all.
Pharaoh, look out a man discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities.
What do you
And
call a
let
person who does something like that when they low key uh, cause something bad to happen, yet they give you the answer like to make it seem like what do you call that person? Like, cause God is orchestrating a famine, yet He's telling Joseph, "Hey, do this for, and then you'll be good. But if you don't, then everybody else who don't get this message, they gonna suffer." Like, why is God doing this? Cause He want to show His power. Like He's kind of egotistical. He didn't have to do that. He didn't have to make the world starve. He didn't have to cause a 7-year famine. He did that so He can show His power, so He can flex. Like God was flexing on another level.
that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the
And all
famine.
He needed was one
And the thing
person
was good in the
to
eyes of
believe in Him.
Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all
Literally,
his...
all God needed was one person to believe in Him, and He could use that person to, like, give, because He was giving people dreams. He was showing them stuff, and then He was the way He was operating. He could do it all. Like, man, God is a genius, but like, kind of an a-hole too. Like, I ain't gonna say asshole, but he asshole.
servants.
Some
And
shit He
Pharaoh
just
said
didn't
unto his
have to do,
servants,
but He
Can
did it.
we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, Forasmuch as God hath showed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou.
Let him out.
And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, See, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh
Okay.
took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand. and arrayed him
Bye-bye.
in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. And he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, Bow the
Now,
knee.
now God got control of Egypt because he Joseph was his servant and he was able to interpret that dream for Pharaoh. But God gave Pharaoh that dream, and God is the one who's also going to cause that famine. So once Joseph was being his faithful little servant, I believe Michael Jackson tapped into his energy. He did. He was. Why you think he got to the level he got to? That, why you think they murdered him? Like he was tapped in. That's why you think they called him Wacko Jacko. Why you think they painted him to be that person? Because he had too much power, too much influence, and he knew the secrets. They when you on Michael Jackson level and everybody love you, everybody wants to tell you the truth. Everybody wants you to know they secret, know what's really going on, so they could be like, Michael Jackson will always remember that person gave me some game. Like so, he got to a level where like shit, he was dependent on somebody for something, and that person was able to slip him something. Like so, me trying not to, I'm not even gonna speak it. Like, I ain't even gonna speak it. Like, he still worship that. He's still here. His spirit is still here. Like literally, Michael Jackson don't have to reincarnate no more for what he did. He was that great. He touched that many people. He changed that many people's lives. So is the whole thing is to change people's lives in a positive way. He didn't change nobody's life in a negative way. Like even I don't know. I can't say for R. Kelly. I don't know. Just can't. But understand like what he done, what he created. Like you can't change that, and I'm pretty sure when he died, he'll be worshipped. Yes, some people would down talk him for what he supposedly did, but none of us know because was we there? No. Like so, me being one of those people, I don't know the 100% fact. I can't speak on it. Like all I can do is say like, hey, what he did in his lifetime, he came in and did what he was supposed to do. Yet, if he stepped on somebody's toes and they felt like they had to ruin his life, like that's the devil right there. Like that's like falling, getting tripped up. Just understand this. Whatever we do, it always equals out to something. Like it always like karma always happens. So if he's in jail right now, it that's what he's supposed to be. Honestly, like even a person who was innocent and never did nothing, they probably didn't do nothing in this life, but they probably got away with something in their past life where they still had to pay for that karma. Like that be the reason why there's so many people who locked up who saying I'm innocent, nothing, I didn't do nothing wrong, because you was a criminal, did some fucked up shit last time. You thought you got away. Why do you think stuff happen to kids? I know my wife don't want to hear it, but if she in here, she know this conversation. Things happen to kids because that kid in their past life did some fucked up shit to another kid. They had to repay the karma. They thought they got away, but you get away from nothing. Like literally, that karma is not going. It ain't gonna turn into a generational curse, and your kid got to deal with that. No, your kid gonna go through its own karma, and it probably did some fucked up shit like you did. So y'all both got y'all karma. That's why y'all family, cause y'all came here to learn the same fucking lessons. It's not about blood. That's why your family really ain't your family. It's the one you create for yourself. Like so, I understand that. Like, understand that, upper standard, whatever, overstand. I stand it. Fuck it, let's get back to the book.
And he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his
See, back
hand.
to my past life, how Pharaoh gave Joseph all the like damn the power over Egypt. I gave my wife all the power over Egypt like that because look who her dad was. Like, and those who didn't hear me tell the story about knowing Joseph in my past life, Joseph, his name wasn't Joseph, but he had a daughter who I married, and they had the same beliefs. They all believed in that God, and then his name wasn't that God. As a matter of fact, I gotta research it to see uh, what they called him back then. But even then, that's American name what they said. Like so, honestly, you truly never know if you don't speak the language. So it really don't matter. But I married his daughter, and she had damn near had the same power as he had. And once I died, they tried to convert the whole Egypt to believe in what Joseph believed in, but that didn't work because you already had priests and other people who had their beliefs for thousands of other years. They're just not gonna let one God who's here for today, who's causing famine, and they don't even know it's God causing this famine. They don't even know it's him. Like he operating on sneaky motives, trying to like show his presence and his power. Yes, like he got his job, he accomplished his goal, but at the same time, he was doing it for the power, for the influence. He wanted people to believe in him. He wanted people to know his power. Like so, truly, he was just flexing. So
and or foot in all the land of
people don't
Egypt.
want to hear that truth.
And Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphnath-Paaneah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, the priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. And Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh, and went throughout all the land of Egypt. And in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field which was round about every city laid he up in the same. And Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much until he left numbering, for it was without number. And unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bore unto him. And Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God said, He hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And the 7 years of
And you
plenteousness
know
that
what's
was in
funny?
the
In my
land of
past life, I was supposed to marry the first daughter, but I didn't. I married the one that I wanted to marry, and once again, she wasn't an Egyptian woman. She was. I wasn't supposed to marry her, but at the same time, my dad had died, so I didn't get that conversation. So I was able to marry whoever I wanted to marry. Yet they had different beliefs. So once I passed away, like I said, they wanted their beliefs to be the most known. They wanted their God to be the most prevalent, but they was chased out of Egypt. So
Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians,
he made
Go
Pharaoh
unto
look good,
Joseph,
bro.
what he saith to you do. And the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians. And the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. And all
It's like
countries
really,
came into...
God gonna take you through some bullshit to make you look good in the end, though. Like so, I really do like that's what life is about. Like you go through a lot of bullshit to end up being looking good. Like look what Nip Hustle did. Like he went through a lot of bullshit in his life to in the end he looked good. Like look how many people he influenced. But it sucks it to be that way. But at the same time, like that's Earth. Like me, I'm trying to go through life where not just when I die. Like I'm recognized what I did when I was alive, not just when I died. I did that in my last life. I'm not trying to have that same experience. Like so, I want to get my respect. I want to be able to get my flowers this time. So I'm trying to do it in the best way. Where people say, "Oh, I'm trying to, you know how they do, like try to crucify you, sacrifice you, especially when you wake people up." But at the same time, I'm not doing this for no fame as well. I'm doing this so I could evolve, help other people evolve, and like shit, get about this mug.
Egypt to Joseph for to buy corn. because that the famine was so sore in all lands. Chapter 42. Now when Jacob saw that there was corn in Egypt, Jacob said unto his sons, Why do ye look one upon another? And he said, Behold, I have heard that there is corn in Egypt. Get you down thither, and buy for us from thence, that we may live and not die. And Joseph's 10 brethren went down to buy corn in Egypt. But Benjamin, Joseph's brother, Jacob sent not with his brethren, for he said, Lest peradventure mischief befall him. And the sons of Israel came to buy corn among those that came, for the famine was in the land of Canaan. And Joseph was the governor over the land, and he it was that sold to all the people of the land. And Joseph's brethren came, and bowed down themselves before him with their faces to the earth. And Joseph saw his brethren, and he knew them, but made himself strange unto them, and spake roughly unto them. And he said unto them, Whence come ye? And they said, From the land of Canaan to buy food. And Joseph knew his brethren, but they knew not him. And Joseph remembered the dream which he dreamed of them, and said unto them, Ye are spies, to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said unto him, Nay, my lord, but to buy food are thy servants come. We are all one man's sons. We are true men. Thy servants are no spies. And he said unto them, Nay, but to see the nakedness of the land ye are come. And they said, Thy servants are 12 brethren, the sons of one man in the land of Canaan. And behold, the youngest is this day with our father, and one is not. And Joseph said unto them, That is it that I spake unto you, saying, Ye are spies. Hereby ye shall be proved. By the life of Pharaoh ye shall not go forth hence, except your youngest brother come hither. Send one of you, and let him fetch your brother, and ye shall be kept in prison, that your words may be proved, whether there be any truth in you. Or else by the life of Pharaoh, surely ye are spies. And he put them all together into ward 3 days. And Joseph said unto them the 3rd day, This do, and live, for I fear God. If ye be true men, let one of your brethren be bound in the house of your prison. Go ye, carry corn for the famine of your houses. But bring your youngest brother unto me, so shall your words be verified, and ye shall not die. And they did so. And they said one to another, We are verily guilty concerning our brother, in that we saw the anguish of his soul when he besought us, and we would not hear. Therefore is this distress come upon us. And Reuben answered them, saying, Spake I not unto you, saying, Do not sin against the child, and ye would not hear? Therefore, behold, also his blood is required. And they knew not that Joseph understood them, for he spake unto them by an interpreter. And he turned himself about from them, and wept, and returned to them again, and communed with them, and took from them Simeon, and bound him before their eyes. Then Joseph commanded to fill their sacks with corn, and to restore every man's money into his sack, and to give them provisions for the way, and thus he did unto them. And they laded their asses with corn, and departed thence. And as one of them opened his sack to give his ass provender in the inn, he espied his money, for behold, it was in the sack's mouth. And he said unto his brethren, My money is restored, and lo, it is even in my sack. And their heart failed them, and they were afraid, saying one to another, What is this that God hath done unto us? And they came unto Jacob their father unto the land of Canaan, and told them all that befell unto them, saying, The man who is the Lord of the land spake roughly to us, and took us for spies of the country. And we said unto him, We are true men, we are no spies. We be 12 brethren, sons of our father. One is not, and the youngest is this day with our father in the land of Canaan. And the man, the lord of the country, said unto us, Hereby shall I know that ye are true men. Leave one of your brethren here with me, and take food for the famine of your households, and be gone, and bring your youngest brother unto me. Then shall I know that ye are no spies, but that ye are true men. So will I deliver your brother, and ye shall traffic in the land. And it came to pass, as they emptied their sacks, that behold, every man's bundle of money was in his sack. And when both they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were afraid. And Jacob their father said unto them, Me have ye bereaved of my children. Joseph is not,
Joseph
and Simeon
just
is
fucking
not,
with their
and ye will
ass.
take Benjamin away. All these things are against me. And Reuben spake unto his father, saying, Slay my 2 sons, if I bring him not to thee. Deliver him into my hand, and I will bring him to thee again. And he said, My son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead, and he is left alone. If mischief befall him by the way in the which ye go, then shall ye
He
bring
do
down
not
my
trust his
gray
kids
hairs
at
with
all.
sorrow to the grave.
Shit, I wouldn't either after they
Chapter 43.
do what they
And
did.
the famine was sore in the land. And it came to pass, when they had eaten up the corn which they had brought out of Egypt, their father said unto them, Go again, buy us a little food. And Judas spake unto him, saying, The man did solemnly protest unto us, saying, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. If thou wilt send our brother with us, we will go down and buy thee food. But if thou wilt not send him, we will not go down. For the man said unto us, Ye shall not see my face, except your brother be with you. And Israel said, Wherefore dealt ye so ill with me, as to tell the man whether ye had yet a brother? And they said, The man asked us strictly of our state and of our kindred, saying, Is your father yet alive? Have ye another brother? And we told him according to the tenor of these words. Could we certainly know that he would say, Bring your brother down? And Judah said unto Israel his father, Send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him. Of my hand shalt thou require him. If I bring him not unto thee, and set him before thee, then let me bear the blame forever. For except we had lingered, surely now we had returned this second time. And their father Israel said unto them, If it must be so now, do this. Take of the best fruits in the land in your vessels, and carry down the man a present, a little balm and a little honey, spices and myrrh, nuts and almonds, and take double money in your hand, and the money that was brought again in the mouth of your sacks. Carry it again in your hand. Peradventure it was an oversight. And take also your brother, and arise, go again unto the man. And God Almighty give you mercy before the man, that he may send away your other brother and Benjamin. If I be bereaved of my children, I am bereaved. And the men took that present, and they took double money in their hand and Benjamin, and rose up and went down to Egypt, and stood before Joseph. And when Joseph saw Benjamin with them, he said to the ruler of his house, Bring these men home, and slay, and make ready, for these men shall dine with me at noon. And the man did as Joseph bade. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house. And the men were afraid, because they were brought into Joseph's house. And they said, Because of the money that was returned in our sacks at the first time are we brought in, that he may seek occasion against us and fall upon us.
If y'all was Joseph, right, and y'all brothers come back and you see them, you knew what they did, yet as years passed and you became this great man of Egypt, how would you have treated your brothers? Me, knowing I'm a forgiving person, I probably did the same thing he did. Make them feel like they was gonna get in trouble, like, but at the same time, like I wouldn't have I'd have forgave him, cause I'm a forgiving person. But at the same time, God truly don't forgive. Like He destroys those who do Him wrong. So at least the God of this Bible.
And take us for our bondmen and our asses. They came near to the steward of Joseph's house, and they communed with him at the door of the house, and said, O sir, we came indeed down at the first time to buy food. And it came to pass, when we came to the inn, that we opened our sacks, and behold, every man's money was in the mouth of his sack, our money in full weight, and we have brought it again in our hand. And other money have we brought down in our hands to buy food. We cannot tell who put our money in our sacks. And he said, Peace be to you, fear not. Your God, the God of your father, hath given you treasure in your sacks. I had your money. And he brought Simeon out unto them. And the man brought the men into Joseph's house, and gave them water, and they washed their feet, and he gave their asses provender. And they made ready the present against Joseph came at noon, for they heard that they should eat bread there. And when Joseph came home, they brought him the present which was in their hand into the house, and bowed themselves to him to the earth. And he asked them of their welfare, and said, Is your father well, the old man of whom ye spake? Is he yet alive? And they answered, Thy servant our father is in good health. He is yet alive. And they bowed down their heads, and made obeisance. And he lifted up his eyes, and saw his brother Benjamin, his mother's son, and said, Is this your younger brother, of whom ye spake unto me? And he said, God be gracious unto thee, my son. And Joseph made haste, for his bowels did yearn upon his brother, and he sought where to weep. And he entered into his chamber, and wept there. And he washed his face, and went out, and refrained himself, and said, Set on bread. And they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him, by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with the Hebrews, for that is an abomination unto the Egyptians. And they sat before him, the firstborn according to his birthright, and the youngest according to his youth. And the men marveled one at another. And he took and sent messes unto them from before him, but Benjamin's mess was 5 times so much as any of theirs. And they drank and were merry with him. Chapter 44. And he commanded the steward of his house, saying, Fill the men's sacks with food, as much as they can carry, and put every man's money in his sack's mouth. And put my cup, the silver cup, in the sack's mouth of the youngest, and his corn money. And he did according to the word that Joseph had spoken. As soon as the morning was light, the men were sent away, they and their asses. And when they were gone out of the city, and not yet far off, Joseph said unto his steward, Up, follow after the men, and when thou dost overtake them, say unto them, Wherefore have ye rewarded evil for good? Is not this it in which my Lord drinketh, and whereby indeed he divineth? Ye have done evil in so doing. And he overtook them, and he spake unto them these same words. And they said unto him, Wherefore saith my Lord these words? God forbid that thy servants should do according to this thing. Behold, the money which we found in our sacks' mouths we brought again unto thee out of the land of Canaan. How then should we steal out of thy Lord's house silver or gold? With whomsoever of thy servants it be found, both let him die, and we also will be my Lord's bondmen. And he said, Now also let it be according unto your words. He with whom it is found shall be my servant, and ye shall be blameless. Then they speedily took down every man his sack to the ground, and opened every man his sack. And he searched, and began at the eldest, and left at the youngest, and the cup was found in Benjamin's sack. Then they rent their clothes, and laded every man his ass, and returned to the city. And Judah and his brethren came to Joseph's house, for he was yet there, and they fell before him on the ground. And Joseph said unto them, What deed is this that ye have done? Wot ye not that such a man as I can certainly divine? And
but he's trying to get his dad, so
What
I don't
shall we
understand. Like,
say
he's
to
trying to get his
my
dad.
Lord? What shall we speak? Or how shall we clear ourselves? God hath found out the iniquity of thy servants. Behold, we are my Lord's servants, both we and he also with whom the cup is found. And he said, God forbid that I should do so. But the man in whose hand the cup is found, he shall be my servant. And as for you, get you up in peace unto your father. Then Judah came near unto him and said, O my Lord, let thy servant, I pray thee, speak a word in my Lord's ears, and let not thine anger burn against thy servant, for thou art even as Pharaoh. My Lord asked his servants, saying, Have ye a father or a brother? And we said unto my Lord, We have a father, an old man, and a child of his old age, a little one, and his brother is dead, and he alone is left of his mother, and his father loveth him. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Bring him down unto me, that I may set mine eyes upon him. And we said unto my Lord, The lad cannot leave his father, for if he should leave his father would die. And thou saidst unto thy servants, Except your youngest brother come down with you, ye shall see my face no more. And it came to pass, when we came up unto thy servant my father, we told him the words of my Lord. And our father said, Go again and buy us a little food. And we said, We cannot go down. If our youngest brother be with us, then we will go down, for we may not see the man's face, except our youngest brother be with us. And thy servant my father said unto us, Ye know that my wife bare me 2 sons, and the one went out from me, and I said, Surely he is torn in pieces, and I saw him not since. And if ye take this also from me, and mischief befall him, ye shall bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to the grave. Now therefore, when I come to thy servant my father, and the lad be not with us, seeing that his life is bound up in the lad's life, it shall come to pass, when he seeth that the lad is not with us, that he will die. And thy servant shall bring down the gray hairs of thy servant our father with sorrow to the grave. For thy servant became surety for the lad unto my father, saying, If I bring him not unto thee, then I shall bear the blame to my father forever. Now therefore, I pray thee, let thy servant abide instead of the lad, a bondman to my Lord, and let the lad go up with his brethren. For how shall I go up to my father, and the lad be not with me, lest peradventure I see the evil that shall come on my father? Chapter 45. Then Joseph could not refrain himself before all them that stood by him. And he cried, Cause every man to go out from me. And there stood no man with him, while Joseph made himself known to his brethren. And he wept aloud, and the Egyptians in the house of Pharaoh heard. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live? And his brethren could not answer him, for they were troubled at his presence. And Joseph said unto his brethren, Come near to me, I pray you. And they came near. And he said, I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt. Now therefore be not grieved nor angry with yourselves that ye sold me hither, for God did send me before you to preserve life. For these 2 years hath a famine been in the land.
I always see
and
the
yet
good
there are 5 years in the
life
which
too, like
there
Joseph.
shall neither be earing nor harvest. And God sent me before you to preserve you a posterity in the earth, and to save your lives by a great deliverance. So now it was not you that sent me hither, but God. And he hath made me a father to Pharaoh, and lord of all his house, and a ruler throughout all the land of Egypt. Haste ye, and go up to my father, and say unto him, Thus saith thy son Joseph, God hath made me Lord of all Egypt. Come down unto me, tarry not. And thou shalt dwell in the land of Goshen, and thou shalt be near unto me, thou and thy children, and thy children's children, and thy flocks and thy herds, and all that thou hast. And there will I nourish thee, for yet there are 5 years of famine, lest thou and thy household and all that thou hast come to poverty. And behold, your eyes see, and the eyes of my brother Benjamin, that it is my mouth that speaketh unto you. And ye shall tell my father of all my glory in Egypt, and of all that ye have seen. And ye shall haste and bring down my father hither.
Made you a
And he fell
moderator.
upon his brother Benjamin's neck and wept. And Benjamin wept upon his neck. Moreover, he kissed all his brethren
One of
and
my
wept
biggest
upon them.
supporters.
And after that,
Blow Sniffer 420, one of my biggest supporters, had to make you a moderator. Had to. Because you definitely king of the trolls in my eyes. So I had to bestow you that honor to making you a moderator. Like, shout out to you for always coming through. Even though it's always on some other shit. But hey, as long as you keep showing up, supplying views, hope you hit that like button when you came through. If you didn't, hey. You got to because you keep showing up. Like, so I'm like, I know the next time I see you, I'm gonna make you a moderator. So there you go.
his brethren talked with him. And the fame thereof was
But to
heard in
know,
Pharaoh's
hey,
house, saying,
but to know, like God, Joseph was like, I ain't mad at y'all because God sent me through this so I can take to preserve y'all, to help y'all in the future. That's how I am with my, like, just the shit that I went through. A lot of stuff in my life, I would understand why I went through with it, so I could never be mad at certain individuals. And I'm like, it was all for the good. So Joseph knew that, with his brothers on one hand, like how did you think they felt, like knowing like they thought they brother was dead, they sold him off into slavery, yet he's like damn near the king, like he's just under the Pharaoh. Like I know they felt kind of shitty, but I don't know. I probably would have made them suffer a little bit more. I'd have had to like get my like my guards to fuck them up at least, like a few of them, like put them in jail. Some they gotta get that karma repaid back, like, but to know like his dad was still alive, like his dad didn't pass away, why, and he was able to see his son again, like that's something you could take from this. Like Joseph, no matter what, he stayed faithful to his beliefs. Like not saying God is right for even causing that famine, but hey, God, as we can see, God operate how He want to operate. So can't judge the man for doing what he do, especially when he created the whole scenario and the whole game. Can't get mad at it. But me knowing like there's multiple gods in this thing, like that you can believe in and that'll give you blessings. Like I understand, like this one is the god of dreams. He's he's a bad guy. I ain't saying bad as in bad person, but he's a bad man. That motherfucker be doing some shit that he's like, dang, why God, why you gotta do that? You couldn't spare that. Like he destroyed mankind hella times already, and we still only in the book of Genesis. Like, and then like, even though right now Egypt is good right now, Egypt is prospering, but it's because of God. As you see, when Moses come through, what he gonna do to Egypt again? Like, so it's like he got a love-hate relationship with Egypt. No, he really want to control Egypt. That's what it is. He really wants to control Egypt. And when you realize that what I said, what happened to my real son in my past life, right? As when I was a pharaoh, they tried to make Egypt, believe in just one God. They ran him away. So the story of Moses is, guess who comes back with the staff and like saving the Israelites from Egypt? Like that's just part of that. It's not. I ain't gonna say that's a true story, but like it's all tied into each other. So
Joseph's brethren are come.
that's in
And
Exodus
it
though.
pleased Pharaoh well and his servants. And Pharaoh
Yeah,
said
almost
unto
done with this
Joseph,
book.
Say unto thy brethren, This do ye, lade your beasts and go, get you unto the land of Canaan, and take your father and your households, and come unto me, and I will give you the good of the land of Egypt, and ye shall eat the fat of the land. Now thou art commanded, this do ye, take your wagons out of the land of Egypt for your little ones, and for your wives, and bring your father, and come. Also regard not your stuff, for the good of all the land of Egypt is yours. And the children of Israel did so. And Joseph gave them wagons according to the commandment of Pharaoh, and gave them provision for the way. To all of them he gave each man changes of raiment. But to Benjamin he gave 300 pieces of silver and 5 changes of raiment. And to his father he sent after this manner: 10 asses laden with the good things of Egypt, and 10 she-asses laden with corn and bread and meat for his father by the way. So he sent his brethren away, and they departed. And he said unto them, See that ye fall not out by the way. And they went up out of Egypt, and came into the land of Canaan, unto Jacob their father, and told him, saying, Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. And Jacob's heart fainted, for he believed them not. And they told him all the words of Joseph which he had said unto them.
Did they tell him the real story
and
of
when he
what
saw the
happened?
wagons which Joseph had sent to carry him, the spirit of Jacob their father revived. And Israel said, It is enough. Joseph my son is yet alive. I will go and see him before I die. Chapter 46. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again, and Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all
Here's
his
the crazy
seed
part.
brought he with
Jacob
him
ended up
into Egypt.
going into Egypt, right, as Israel. That was his name because that's what the God gave him. But how they end up becoming slaves in Egypt, though? Like, if Joseph is this governor of Egypt, he's Israel's son, how did they end up becoming slaves? I wonder, does the Bible say?
And these are the names of the children of Israel which came
Probably
into
some
Egypt.
jealousy shit
Jacob
type.
and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and the
Dog, you wanna
sons
go
of
out?
Reuben,
You wanna go out?
Hanok,
Huh?
and
You
Phalu,
wanna go out?
and
Follow?
Hezron, and Carmi, and the sons of Simeon, Jemuel, and Jamin, and Ohad,
But
and
the ass
Jachin,
need to
and
be slaves. Literally, how they did Joseph, they got karma coming back. So of course that's why they fucking turned to slaves, because they was fucked up individuals. Bro, I gotta let him out. Literally, the Israelites had to go into slavery into Egypt for the simple fact they sold their brother Joseph into slavery. Boom, karma. That's why they became slaves of Egypt. Got my own answer.
Zohar, and Shaul, the son of a Canaanitish woman, and the sons of Levi,
And
Gershon,
they wasn't even supposed to be marrying Canaanite women, so they didn't been fucking up. Like, so God, he ain't gonna destroy them, but he gonna make their ass slaves for what they did. Hey, I fuck with God, honestly. At first I was
Kohath,
feeling kind of
and
iffy,
Merari,
but now
and the sons of Judah, and
he show
Onan,
up
and
for his people.
Shelah,
For the people that
and
believe in him,
Pharez, and Zerah.
he look out for
But
them.
and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. And the sons of Issachar, Tola, and Phuvah, and Job, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sarid, and Elon,
Exactly.
and Jaleel. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padan
Your
Aram,
first time
with
coming
his daughter Dinah.
Man, this chapter about to end in less than 30 minutes, and now you finally coming in bed. Now you finally coming. I need something to drink, though. If you still listening. So if you can bring me something to drink, I really appreciate that. But, yeah, you kind of late.
All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the
30
sons
and
of
3,
Gad,
that 33 number popping up
Ziphion,
again.
and Hagar, Shunai, and
Nipsey
Esbon,
33, Jesus
Eri,
33,
and
Mention
Arodai,
33.
and Areli, and the sons of Asher, Jemnah, and Ishua, and Isui, and
I know you did,
Beriah,
but you ain't
and
been saying
Serah
that.
their sister, and the sons of Beriah, Heber, and Malchiel. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah his daughter, and these she bare unto Jacob even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potipherah, priest of Onan, bare unto him.
You're supposed to be.
And the sons of Benjamin
Can
were
you
Bela
moderate?
and Becher,
I
and
ain't see you
Ashbel,
getting rid of none
Gera,
of them
and
comments.
Naaman, Ehi, and
You
Rosh,
supposed to be on.
Muppim, and Huppim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob.
Really?
All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim, and the sons of Naphtali, Jaziel, and Guni, and Jezer, and Shillem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. All the souls which came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. And he sent Judah before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen. And they came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father, to Goshen, and presented himself unto him. And he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and unto his father's house, I will go up and show Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren and my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle. And they have brought their flocks and their herds, and all that they have. And it shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Chapter 47. Then Joseph came and told Pharaoh, and said, My father and my brethren, and their flocks and their herds, and all that they have are come out of the land of Canaan, and behold, they are in the land of Goshen. And he took some of his brethren, even 5 men, and presented them unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto his brethren, What is your occupation? And they said unto Pharaoh, Thy servants are shepherds, both we and also our fathers. They said moreover unto Pharaoh, For to sojourn in the land we are come, for thy servants have no pasture for their flocks, for the famine is sore in the land of Canaan.
Egypt.
Now therefore we pray thee,
Pharaoh's
let thy
like,
servants
y'all ain't
dwell
about
in
to
the
take
land
over
of
us. We about to slave y'all ass. Fuck that. It's a bunch of y'all. You seen how Joseph was and how powerful Joseph was? But he thought they was going to be like that, but they wasn't. Like, he didn't know they was some evil, conniving people. So to make them slaves, I guess it was like rightful so, because they did sell their brother into slavery, so that is karma. Then Pharaoh thinking, if I got all these people around here, then of course they're going to draw some type of influence over me. I'm gonna lose power, so let me slave them. Like, yeah, so Pharaoh's playing strategic too, playing chess too.
Goshen. And Pharaoh spoke unto Joseph, saying, Thy father and thy brethren are come unto thee. The land of Egypt is before thee. In the best of the land make thy father and brethren to dwell. In the land of Goshen let them dwell, and if thou knowest any men of activity among them, then make them rulers over my cattle. And Joseph brought in Jacob his father, and set him before Pharaoh. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Jacob, How old art thou? And Jacob said unto Pharaoh, The days of the years of my pilgrimage are 130 years. Few and evil have the days of the years of my life been, and have not attained unto the days of the years of the life of my fathers in the days of their pilgrimage. And Jacob blessed Pharaoh, and went out from before Pharaoh. And Joseph placed his father and his brethren, and gave them a possession in the land of Egypt, in the best of the land, in the land of Ramesses, as Pharaoh had commanded. And Joseph nourished his father and his brethren and all his father's household with bread, according to their families. And there was no bread in all the land, for the famine was very sore, so that the land of Egypt and all the land of Canaan fainted by reason of the famine. And Joseph gathered up all the money that was found in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, for the corn which they bought. And Joseph brought the money into Pharaoh's house. And when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, Give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, Give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. And they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. When that year was ended, they came unto him the second year, and said unto him, We will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord
Boy, they
also hath
just
our
spinning
herds
on
of
me.
cattle. There is not aught left in the
Paycheck.
sight of my lord but our bodies and our lands. Wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, both we and our land? Buy us and our land for bread, and
Up.
we and our land will be
They
servants unto
sold
Pharaoh.
they,
And give us
bruh.
seed
That's
that we
where
may
it
live,
happened.
and not die.
Yo, since they kept spending their money, they sold to Pharaoh. That's why they became slaves. Because of food. They was hungry. Bruh. That's why when Hebrew Israelites be mad as shit. That's why they always saying people sold their soul. Like, cause in reality, they work with something like they need, I guess.
That the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh. For the Egyptians sold every man his field, because the famine prevailed over them. So the land became Pharaoh's. And as for the people, he removed them to cities from one end of the borders of Egypt even to the other end thereof. Only the land of the priests bought he not, for the priests had a portion assigned them of Pharaoh, and did
Exactly.
eat their portion which
Exactly. I ain't never like read the Bible like when I was woke like this from beginning of Genesis to the end of Genesis. Like that's why I said I'm gonna read more of the books because I'm like shit. There's a lot of shit that I missed. I'm like I ain't ever remember reading like they sold to Pharaoh, and then God freed them. But it wasn't why. Nah, God shouldn't have stepped in if they did so they sold. But then again, like the ancestors and the people who didn't, it was certain people say, "Hey, we'll give you our land, we'll work for you, like if you just supply us with food." Like, but it was on them for not being able to portion to where it would last. So they didn't learn financial stability back then. So that's important.
Pharaoh gave them. wherefore they sold not their lands. Then Joseph said unto the people, Behold, I have bought you this day, and your land for Pharaoh. Lo, here is seed for you, and ye shall sow the land. And it shall come to pass in the increase, that ye shall give the fifth part unto Pharaoh, and 4 parts shall be your own for seed of the field, and for your food, and for them of your households, and for food for your little ones. And they said, Thou hast saved our lives. Let us find grace in the sight of my
Pharaoh
Lord,
saved
and
them.
we will be Pharaoh's servants. And Joseph made it a
Exactly.
law over the land of
Exactly.
Egypt
They
unto
sold
this
their
day,
soil. So
that Pharaoh
it's
should have the
theirs. They own
5th
it.
part, except the land of the priests only.
But since they couldn't handle it, guess what? They gave it away. And what happened with Esau? Esau sold his birthright to Jacob. Now Jacob has his children have sold their birthright to Pharaoh. Haven't you realized a pattern within this fucking soul like cycle? Damn, bro, is that what happened in 1492? Ooh, good question. Good question. Cycles being repeated. Like, wow, that's crazy. Same thing happened with the dad and the brother, the sons. Do you see how these cycles are being fucking repeated? You see why God can't trust nobody? You see why humans are doomed? Like, motherfuckers don't know how to fucking live life and, like, be happy, like, be content with what they got. Me, I don't even know how to be content, so look who talking. Like, but me, at least I'm learning how to, like, be stable and, like, financially stable and get financial freedom. Like, some people, like, they just work their whole life and that be it. Like, so mm. Reading the Bible is like, whoa, like, I'm learning some stuff now. Like, I can't criticize what I'm learning. Like, knowing, like, that's why the Hebrew Israelites became slaves in Egypt. Like, because they sold. Goddamn.
Which became not
Yeah,
Pharaoh's.
1619
And
slavery.
Israel dwelt in the land of Egypt in the country of Goshen. And they
But
had
ain't no
possessions
telling
therein,
technically
and grew, and multiplied
when
exceedingly.
like people say 1619 with eight, and they say fucking oh boy Columbus came in what 1492. But how do you know? Like, who is keeping the documents, and where are those documents today? Because I want to see that. Like, I want to see it for myself. I want to see what happened for myself throughout history. So, if there's a way, like, of course, tapping into Akashic records, like, that's some spiritual things, like, but even then, like, that get tricky. Like, I want to know because I need to see how this shit got to how it got to where it is. Like, what the fuck? Like, has this shit always been doomed from the jump? Like, literally. In Atlantis, guess what? They blew that shit up. Like, it was a great place. Technology was so far advanced than what we got today. Like, people wouldn't even imagine what they was doing. Like, they was creating animals and, like, putting them together with humans. Like, they was creating shit like that. Things they had no business doing. Like, then they was trying to, like, it was crazy what they was doing. Like, and they end up destroying Atlantis, and then the people who survived Atlantis, they end up going to Egypt. Like, so they end up building Egypt up. But look what Egypt is today, and now we here in America. Like, so cycle exactly. Them cycles, boy. See, and then when you think about dinosaurs, what happened to them? Like, shit, if we gonna talk about cycles, that's I ain't trying to be here when the next motherfucking asteroid goddamn shower hit. But you know it's gonna happen because cycles repeat. All this shit always happen. Like, you gotta hit that reset button. And I'm sorry to say, the way this world is going today, like, is is it possible for the whole world to be saved? Like, let's be clear. Like, is it possible? 100%. Like me, I know for one, I can't change the world, but I can change myself. And when I do that, those around me start changing. So I know I can do that. But can the entire world be woke, be peaceful, like can everything like just be calm? Do y'all see that happening on Earth? I know there is a planet somewhere that is possible where it's nothing but peace. Like I know that's possible, but on Earth it ain't, cause this is hell. Like so, wishing for some positive shit to always be and like for it to happen on Earth, I don't think that's gonna ever happen. That's where I come here to save people. Like I'm saving people by like listening to the Bible. I can give in my thoughts. Like I'm opening people up to a different perspective. Like so, the more people who come tune in and like hear this message and don't just judge me because I say something they don't like, and they actually listen and they able to, you gonna learn something, and then you gonna be able to find something on your own. Just like he said, soil. They sold their soil. Born again, David said they sold their soils, aka soul. Like I didn't catch that. Like, but if you listening to this and then like me having ideas, I'm pretty sure somebody else having some ideas or they done heard something they just didn't comment it. Like so, me be I gotta be open and I gotta say what's on my mind and I even though I know it ain't gonna always be the majority of what's most people would consider right. So
And Jacob lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, so the whole age of Jacob was 147 years. And the time drew nigh that Israel must die, and he called his son Joseph and said unto him, If now I have found grace in thy sight, put I pray thee thy hand under my thigh, and deal kindly and truly with me. Bury me not, I pray thee, in Egypt. But I will lie with my fathers, and thou shalt carry me out of Egypt and bury me in their burying place. And he said, I will do as thou hast said. And he said, Swear unto me. And he sware unto him, and Israel bowed himself upon the bed's head. Chapter 48. And it came to pass after these things that one told Joseph, Behold, thy father is sick. And he took with him his 2 sons, Manasseh and Ephraim. And one told Jacob and said, Behold, thy son Joseph cometh unto thee. And Israel strengthened himself and sat upon the bed. And Jacob said unto Joseph, God Almighty appeared unto me at Luz in the land of Canaan, and blessed me, and said unto me, Behold, I will make thee fruitful, and multiply thee, and I will make of thee a multitude of people, and will give this land to thy seed after thee for an everlasting possession. And now thy 2 sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, which were born unto thee in the land of Egypt before I came unto thee into Egypt, are mine. As Reuben and Simeon, they shall be mine. And thy issue, which thou begettest after them, shall be thine, and shall be called after the name of their brethren in their inheritance. And as for me, when I came from Padan, Rachel died by me in the land of Canaan in the way, when yet there was but a little way to come unto Ephrath. And I buried her there in the way of Ephrath, the same is Bethlehem. And Israel beheld Joseph's sons, and said, Who are these? And Joseph said unto his father, They are my sons, whom God hath given me in this place. And he said, Bring them, I pray thee, unto me, and I will bless them. Now the eyes of Israel were dim for age, so that he could not see. And he brought them near unto him, and he kissed them, and embraced them. And Israel said unto Joseph, I had not thought to see thy face, and lo, God hath showed me also thy seed. And Joseph brought them out from between his knees, and he bowed himself with his face to the earth. And Joseph took them both, Ephraim in his right hand, toward Israel's left hand, and Manasseh in his left hand toward Israel's right hand, and brought them near unto him. And Israel stretched out his right hand, and laid it upon Ephraim's head, who was the younger, and his left hand upon Manasseh's head, guiding his hands wittingly, for Manasseh was the firstborn. And he blessed Joseph and said, God before whom my fathers Abraham and Isaac did walk, the God which fed me all my life long unto this day, the angel which redeemed me from all evil, bless the lads, and let my name be named on them, and the name of my fathers Abraham and Isaac, and let them grow into a multitude in the midst of the earth. And when Joseph saw that his father laid his right hand upon the head of Ephraim, it displeased him, and he held up his father's hand to remove it from Ephraim's head unto Manasseh's head. And Joseph said unto his father, Not so, my father, for this is the firstborn. Put thy right hand upon his head.
Bruh.
And his father refused and said, I know it, my son, I know it. He also shall become a people, and he also shall be great. But truly his younger brother shall be greater than he, and his seed shall become a multitude of nations.
Wow.
And he blessed them that day, saying, And thee shall Israel bless, saying, God make thee as Ephraim, and as Manasseh. And he set Ephraim before Manasseh. And Israel said unto Joseph, Behold, I die, but God shall be with you, and bring you again unto the land of your fathers. Moreover, I have given to thee one portion above thy brethren, which I took out of the hand of the Amorite with my sword and with my bow. Chapter 49. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you
Favoritism.
that which shall...
A lot of favoritism is going on in this Bible. And with favoritism comes jealousy. So that's bad. That's where the jealousy stems from. It's God showed favoritism to Abel. Cain got jealous, killed his brother. Like Jacob showed favoritism to his son Joseph. They sold him to slavery. Like literally, fucking even Jacob and Esau. Esau was the favorite because he was the oldest, but the mother favored Jacob, so she made him steal his blessing. Like it all boils down to parents and creators showing favoritism and not showing equal love. Wow.
Before you in the last days. Gather yourselves together, and hear, ye sons of Jacob, and hearken unto Israel your father. Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defiledst thou it. He went up to my couch. Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitations. O my soul, come not thou into their secret. Unto their assembly mine honor, be not thou united, for in their anger they slew a man, and in their self-will they digged down a wall. Cursed be their anger, for it was fierce, and their wrath, for it was cruel. I will divide them in Jacob, and scatter them in Israel. Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise. Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's children shall bow down before thee. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down, he couched as a lion, and as an old lion. Who shall rouse him up? The scepter shall not depart from Judah, nor a lawgiver from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and unto him shall the gathering of the people be. Binding his foal unto the vine, and his ass's colt unto the choice vine. He washed his garments in wine, and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine, and his teeth white with milk. Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for an haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Issachar is a strong ass couching down between two burdens. And he saw that rest was good, and the land that it was pleasant, and bowed his shoulder to bear, and became a servant unto tribute. Dan shall judge his people as one of the tribes of Israel. Dan shall be a serpent by the way, and adder in the path, that biteth the horse heels, so that his rider shall fall backward.
And blow, people is gonna try to sacrifice me for making these videos. But do you think I'm going to stop? No. I always came down here to do this. Like, this is what I'm supposed to been doing. I've been supposed to reading and listening to this Bible as now. Like, but the majority of the world is not going to agree with what I'm doing, what I'm saying. But that is okay, because this is God's work. Like, I'm literally doing God's work. Most people just read it and then they close it. And they don't. Some people live by it, and then you got some people that decode it and actually read between the lines. And then you got people who overthink certain things. Like, I'm like mixed. Like, so they'd actually tell you what you get when you get watching me, but still, I'm only speaking what's coming to my mind. Like, I'm not doing this out of no malicious intent. I'm not doing this trying to convert nobody to nothing. Like, I'm doing this to get my own understanding now. Because usually when I would read the Bible, it was with a different mindset. So I'm reading it with the positive mind only I got now. So these are the thoughts that's coming. Metaphysics all over this Bible. Exactly. Metaphysics. Into metaphysics. So you can see that all through this Bible. And then you can learn a lot of stuff also. So it's a good book, but at the same time, to be taking it literal and saying, hey, this is the one book that everybody's supposed to read and follow, I don't think that's true. I don't think this book is meant for like women or like other people. Like, I don't know. I think this book is meant for certain individuals. And the people that it's meant for, I'm pretty sure they're following it to the T. So I ain't gonna say they're in the wrong, but that's their beliefs.
I have waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Gad, a troop shall overcome
Learning
him,
Hebrew though,
but he shall
that's a monster.
overcome
Like,
at the
you gonna learn
last.
Hebrew?
Out of Asher his bread shall be fat,
Respect
and
to
he
that.
shall yield royal dainties. Naphtali is a hind let loose. He giveth goodly words. Joseph is a fruitful bough, even a fruitful bough by a well, whose branches run over the wall. The archers have sorely grieved him, and shot at him, and hated him. But his bow abode in strength, and the arms of his hands were made strong by the hands of the mighty God of Jacob. From thence is the shepherd, the stone of Israel. Even by the God of thy father who shall help thee, and by the Almighty who shall bless thee with blessings of heaven above, blessings of the deep that lieth under, blessings of the breasts and of the womb. The blessings of thy father have prevailed above the blessings of my progenitors unto the utmost bound of the everlasting hills. They shall be on the head of Joseph, and on the crown of the head of him that was separate from his brethren. Benjamin shall raven as a wolf. In the morning he shall devour the prey, and at night he shall divide the spoil. All these are the 12 tribes of Israel. And this is it that their father spake unto them, and blessed them.
Alright, so the 12 tribes of Israel is based on some jealousy. It's based off favoritism. It's based off deceit. Like, I never claimed to be part of the 12 tribes of Israel. Like, some people would consider me that, but like, I'm not. I don't affiliate with that. Never have. Even though my middle name is L, And that's when a lot of them change their last name too once they quote unquote transition and become that. Nah, I'm really Kenneth L. I I I I cut out my last name for the simple fact it was Brady. And I'm like, man, that's some slave name. Like, that's the only reason I got my last name for the simple fact that's how the slaves knew who their owner was by having his last name. So, people who own my ancestors, or one of my ancestors, their name was Brady. So, I'm like, let me drop that. Plus, when I looked up the meaning to Brady, it didn't match with my name, my first name and my middle name. It didn't match up. Like so, Kenneth means handsome. L means God, handsome God. So I always thought that as a child. I always would research my name. So that's what I looked at myself as. So I always thought I was handsome, and I always thought highly of myself. And when I was a kid, growing up in Gary, I was a vice lord. I wasn't a gangster disciple. I wasn't a blood or a crip. I was a vice lord. So automatically, I'm thinking God mode. Like everybody's supposed to praise me. Everybody's supposed to look up to me. I'm somebody. That's how I see myself, even as a child. So what you think about yourself is what you'll become. And look what I've become today. Like so, think highly of yourself.
According to his blessing he blessed them. And he charged them and said unto them, I am to be gathered unto my people. Bury me with my fathers in the cave that is in the field of Ephron the Hittite, in the cave that is in the field of Machpelah, which is before Mamre, in the land of Canaan, which Abraham bought with the field of Ephron the Hittite for a possession of a burying place. There they buried Abraham and Sarah his wife. There they buried Isaac and Rebekah his wife, and there I buried Leah. The purchase of the field and of the cave that is therein was from the children of Heth. And when Jacob had made an end of commanding his sons, he gathered up his feet into the bed, and yielded up the ghost, and was gathered unto his people. Chapter 50. And Joseph fell upon his father's face, and wept upon him, and kissed him. And Joseph commanded his servants, the physicians, to embalm his father, and the physicians embalmed Israel. And 40 days were fulfilled for him, for so are fulfilled the days of those which are embalmed. And the Egyptians mourned for him 70 days. And when the days of his mourning were past, Joseph spake unto the house of Pharaoh, saying, If now I have found grace in your eyes, speak, I pray you, in the ears of Pharaoh, saying, My father made me swear, saying, Lo, I die, and my grave which I have digged for me in the land of Canaan, there shalt thou bury me. Now therefore let me go up, I pray thee, and bury my father, and I will come again. And Pharaoh said, Go up and bury thy father according as he made thee swear. And Joseph went up to bury his father, and with him went up all the servants of Pharaoh, the elders of his house, and all the elders of the land of Egypt, and all the house of Joseph and his brethren, and his father's house. Only their little ones and their flocks and their herds they left in the land of Goshen. And there went up with him both chariots and horsemen, and it was a very great company. And they came to the threshing floor of Atad, which is beyond Jordan, and there they mourned with a great and very sore lamentation. And he made a mourning for his father 7 days. And when the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites, saw the mourning in the floor of Atad, they said, This is a grievous mourning to the Egyptians. Wherefore the name of it was called Abel Mizraim, which is beyond Jordan. And his sons did unto him according as he commanded them. For his sons carried him into the land of Canaan, and buried him in the cave of the field of Machpelah, which Abraham bought with the field for a possession of a burying place of Ephron the Hittite before Mamre. And Joseph returned into Egypt, he and his brethren, and all that went up with him to bury his father after he had buried his father. And when Joseph's brethren saw that their father was dead, they said, Joseph will peradventure hate us, and will certainly requite us all the evil which we did unto him. And they sent a messenger unto Joseph, saying, Thy father did command before he died, saying, So shall ye say unto Joseph, Forgive, I pray thee now, the trespass of thy brethren, and their sin, for they did unto thee evil. And now we pray thee, forgive the trespass of the servants of the God of thy father. And Joseph wept when they spake unto him. And his brethren also went and fell down before his face. And they said, Behold, we be thy servants. And Joseph said unto them, Fear not, for am I in the place of God? But as for you, ye thought evil against me. But God meant it unto good to bring to pass, as it is this day, to save much people alive. Now therefore fear ye not. I will nourish you and your little ones. And he comforted them, and spake kindly unto them. And Joseph dwelt in Egypt, he and his father's house, and Joseph lived 110 years. And Joseph saw Ephraim's children of the third generation. The children also of Machir, the son of Manasseh, were brought up upon Joseph's knees. And Joseph said unto his brethren, I die, and God will surely visit you, and bring you out of this land unto the land which he sware to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob. And Joseph took an oath of the children of Israel, saying, God will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones from hence. So Joseph died, being 110 years old, and they embalmed him, and he was put in a coffin in Egypt.
Ooh. Yeah, wasn't Joseph supposed to be buried with his family? Ooh. That's what fucking Jesus. I said Jesus. I know. Ooh, that's why Israelites, they already sold their soul. Then Joseph, you thought he was loyal till he died and got buried, but it wasn't on him. It wasn't like he had control of that. But still, he should have told and let it be known when he was supposed to be buried with his father, go back home to his people. But it don't fucking matter. At the end of the day, it don't matter when you fucking buried. That shit is all fucking fake at the end of the day. Once this flesh is gone, you out of this motherfucker. Ain't no fucking, ain't no matter where you're born or not. But tonight we had a lot of those goddamn fucking naked HD fucking comments. We did a lot of work fucking tonight trying to fucking delete that shit. But hey, we finished Genesis. If I was to give an overall review summary of Genesis, is God is not to be fucked with. He be making mistakes. Obviously, he created this. This was a fucking mistake. Like, you can't too much trust women. Can't too much trust your family, siblings, brothers. There's a lot of favoritism going on. There's a lot of fucking alcoholics. Like, there's a lot of fucking going on in the Bible. Multiplying seeds. Like, bruh. Jacob had 2 wives off the back. First, he worked 7 years for one woman, for one wife. The dude he was working for gave him the ugly sister, the tender-eyed sister. Then he worked another 7 years to get the wife he really wanted. Then he married her. Then God noticed that Jacob hated the tender-eyed girl, the ugly wife, so he starts making her get pregnant. So she started getting pregnant back to back to back. Then fucking Rachel, Jacob's other wife that he wanted, she ends up giving her maid to Jacob so she can get pregnant. She gets pregnant back to back. Then Jacob's other wife, the ugly one, she gives her maid to Jacob, and she gets pregnant. And then Rachel finally gets pregnant. That's what happens when people have free will. Exactly, like, bruh, it was no shame, like, in like having kids and like they lifestyle, like, bruh, it's crazy. How, oh yeah, he did flood. God already flooded the earth. And then Lot, bruh, Lot, the wife fucked around, turned around, looked back at Sodom and Gomorrah, turned into the pile of salt. He couldn't even look back, mourn her and shit. He just had to keep going forward. Then his two daughters got him drunk and slept with him, got pregnant, and like, what the fuck? What made you think that was a good idea? What makes you think you wasn't gonna find no other guys out there to get pregnant? Like, damn, like, but once again, free will, like, it wasn't nothing wrong with them. Like, they was getting horny too. What the fuck? They did that shit out of point, like, them sexual urges. Like, so it wasn't looked at it as no sin, but today, if we was that shit to go on, like, ugh, what the fuck? Y'all has to be in jail for some shit like that. Rape is so prevalent in the Bible. Hate, jealousy. God damn, like, it's only Genesis. We ain't even made it to Exodus. We thought Revelation. People thought Revelations is the worst book. No, it seemed like Genesis is. Ain't nothing been good about Genesis since I learned a lot about God though. I learned how he operates and why he is the way he is. Like, he's forgetful. He tests people for no reason. Like, God damn, he tested Abraham hella times. Like, bruh, like, he got trust issues out this world. He tests people just so he know they gonna mess up. Like, he knew Eve was gonna fuck up when that serpent came around. Yet he still placed them in the Garden of Eden. So God want to know if he can trust you. And if you fail that test, then he's going to excommunicate you from his crew. Like, so he flexes his power. He's building up, like Genesis. You see, he did a lot of building up his followers by like guiding them through dreams and like just how he operated. Like, he's a god of dreams. Like, I mean, he cool. Like, out of all the god, like now, like that I put it in perspective of everything I learned as far as like Greek mythology, Egyptian mythology. This is just God's, like, the gods of the Christians' perspective. Like, I never looked at it that way. Like, Zeus is a fucked up character when you read his like story. Like, that nigga done fucked people's wives, like cheated on his wife hella times, killed people. Like, man, like, it's, bruh, these guys ain't. I ain't gonna say it. Cause would I do a better job if I was like the creator of this game? How would I operate as like the creator of like Earth? This motherfucker be worse off or not? I don't know. But at the same time, like, hey, this is his planet. This is, he said he created this. He said he created humans. Like, he operating how he operating. He doing what he want to do. Like, but at the same time, how you saying you created humans, but there's other like humans out there that believe in other gods, and like you trying to show them like that you're the true God, like you the one with the power. Like, why don't they already know that? Like, if you was the creator of all, why don't they already know about you? Why you got to use certain individuals to like show who you are and show your powers? Because we know like different guys got different powers. Like, if you can call on, man, there's plenty of guys that I probably didn't, I know about that you can call on their energy, light a candle, and they'll make some magic happen. So you could do that to your ancestors, like, bruh. So I understand how using manipulating energy and spiritual how that work. And this God is like, he like a dude, like he like a man, a black dude, like that just got power. Like, he's flexing his power. Like, so I'm not mad at him. Like, just saying, like, but when it gets like bringing your son down here to die for this shit, Why would you make him die for this bullshit? Like, it when the New Testament is how many books away from Genesis, and you see, like, I'm pretty sure this shit don't get no better. There's probably certain people in the Bible, but they all fucked up. Like, literally, everybody got something fucked up about them in this fucking Bible, except Jesus. Like, so, what? Just gotta make it to that. Like, hopefully, we can make it to the end before I don't get distracted and want to listen to another book. Cause I definitely get tired of like just listening to one book overall. But so far, this is the best one for content. Like as far as like just having something to talk about, because it's always something in the Bible that sounds outrageous, or something that makes a lot of sense, and it's something that like sparks my mind to like think or like, oh shit, I didn't see that the first time. Like the fucking Israelite, yeah, the Israelites selling they sold they soil, giving up their land because they couldn't maintain it. They brother, how Joseph is the one who saved Egypt, yet his brothers can't maintain their own. Like, why they didn't go to their brother? Why did they continue to go to Pharaoh? Oh yeah, because of how what they did to their brother. Like, of course, now I don't want to go to their brother. But look what they did. So, what I learned about the Bible is so far is keep reading. Don't just judge a book about the first chapter, because I mean not just the first chapter, but the first book. Cause this shit get pretty crazy. So thank you guys for tuning in. We're gonna be back tomorrow, listening to Exodus. So we're gonna see how that go. That one got Moses in it. I'm not for sure who else is introduced in Exodus, but as you can see how Genesis ended, Joseph buried was fucking embalmed. He was like did like the fucking Egyptians. So how God feel about that? Because that's why the Israelites suffered in Egypt for so long. Because first of all, they sold they soul, and second, like Joseph did what his dad told him not to do. Like so, you know how God is. There's another troll. Let me exit this. But we about to end this live anyway, so it really don't even matter. But actually, it does matter because this shit I don't like how that look. I don't like how that bullshit look. But 3 hours, that ain't bad. Like for another day on live, I'm proud of myself being consistent because it does like a lot of people ain't that consistent on this month like me. Like doing this every day, and I've been doing it for months. So shout out for me for like putting that effort in. I knew I could do it because I got on YouTube already. Like I watch YouTube every single day, so it's nothing for me to say, okay, Karen, it's time to like create content because you do want to get paid for like getting on YouTube. You don't want to just watch YouTube and not get paid for nothing. Like you getting everybody else paid, so you might as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. Really appreciate it. If it's somebody from the 219 that's in here that haven't like commented, just know I know you in here. Thank you for tuning in. Peace, we out.